Lesser Spotted Wednesday stream. Let's get some cans. Snuggle in. Jesus! So fast, so rapid. I don't even have Steam loaded. I figured I'd have at least 20 minutes before anything fucking happened. Fucking pair he is! Ridiculously fast. What the fuck am I even playing? This one. Where are you? Right there. What a moron. That one. So, as is befitting, I have no idea what's going on in the game right now. Did a vote. I remember doing a vote. Because last time I streamed was Sunday and I got drunk and things took a deep turn to the mentally aware. And then I thought, fuck it, I don't want to play the council anymore. Spoilers as to what's coming up on the channel. So me and Krusty streamed it for a bit and then it all went a bit Brexit. So, where's this? What's going on? What am I doing? Is this my house? Oh no, I remember, I got kicked out of my house. For being a drunk dickhead. It's only a matter of time, Jay. Real life shit. That's us, right? We did this. Yeah, that we did that case. And then the rest of whatever. And this is probably the ongoing one. I don't fucking know. I'd say what I do know is that I should have a walkthrough ready to go. And not www.dvd.co.uk. Where's my walkthrough gone? Oh, it's there, it's fine. Right. This is the very start of a new case. Was there a knock on the door already? I don't know what's going on, yo. Yes, we've had a knock on the door. There was a clue in there? Wait, no, I've probably been given a clue, haven't I? Yes, there. Young, unremarkable looking man. That's me. So how are you two fellas this fair eve? I thought the game fucking broke then. I myself have just edited the final couple of parts for We Happy Few, so that series is going to end real soon. It'd be good if anyone actually fucking watched it, to be honest. New series to start editing. It was going to be a B series. You know where Life is Strange lives on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I've decided no, it's going to be an A series game, and the B series can just retire for a bit. Consider that an announcement. The B series is retired until Life is Strange. So, that's interesting. That's interesting too, and that's home. So, what? Here apparently. Yeah, we've not been having nice weather.
The cake and muffins come to a total of 6 crowns, 10 shillings.
We had a bit of nice weather.
Thank you again. Barbara,
and then it just turned to shit again. It's been freezing
My
cold the last couple of days.
Enjoy.
Rain and hail.
Pardon me, sir.
Wind's not so bad. He did it.
I'm sure Barbara will enjoy them. The cow.
Oh,
Mr. Fordham. Welcome.
What have you done?
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan.
general investigations beforehand.
Those look nice, but given the choice, I'll always side with pie over cake.
Yeah, good old cheese and onion pie, right? That's what I'm talking about.
A bunch of assorted baking products. Don't waste your time with those, Miles. We've got a murder to solve.
I'm solving it through the medium of cake.
I never had much of a sweet tooth, but even I'd consider buying some of this stuff. You know, if I was still alive. Minor detail, I know.
I'm assuming this is something that you guys discussed Monday night?
The stuff in that day-old box doesn't look half bad. More like 3/4 bad. A very wise man once told me, never go poking around the back rooms of bakeries. I think you'd do well to heed that advice.
Have you got time for a few more questions, Mrs. Morgan?
Yes, of course.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Ronan was the best brother anyone could have asked for. He took care of me after our parents died. Carriage accident. I was only 9 and he was 13. Ronan went out and found work and managed to support the both of us. He was just a child himself, but he kept us out of the gutter. Or worse, the workhouse.
How did you hear of his death?
Ronan comes by to visit me every day after he finishes work. When he didn't come for 2 days in a row, I got worried.
You know, there's
I
only
went
one
to his
sport that I'm
apartment, but
interested in,
he
and
wasn't
that's
there.
barely
So I made a
interested
report to the
these
police.
days.
Yesterday, they
Point if
contacted
you remember
me
what it is.
and asked me to
You should.
come to the mortuary.
I'm
think.
terribly sorry for your loss, Mrs. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. Please, find whoever did this to him. Ronan deserved so much better.
What do you know about your brother's murder?
Only what the police told me. He was shot at close range outside that pub in the Chum. Nothing was missing, and his wallet had money in it, so they said it wasn't a robbery. I didn't recognize the clothes he was wearing. I had never seen them before, and they were far too big for him. I still can't believe he's gone. He was the only family I had left.
Dr. Edwards at the mortuary might be able to give us some more detailed information. The only thing we'll get out of this one is more tears.
Okay, that's useful.
What sort of life did Ronan lead?
You know, just normal. He'd go to work, come visit me afterwards, and go home. He didn't have much of a social life. At least he never mentioned any friends to me. I always hoped Ronan would meet a nice girl to settle down with, but he was so shy, you know.
Where did Ronan work?
At the Grips Home Taxidermy Shop in Gascone. I always thought it was rather macabre work, but he enjoyed it. Bit lonely, though.
Okay, many things.
Can you give me the address of Ronan's apartment?
It's at 1172
No one's
Bushmill
listening to me
Street.
anymore, are they?
I have a
No one
spare key.
cares.
That would be most helpful. Thank you. So, this is your bakery.
My husband Gerald and I have had it for almost 10 years.
Is it just the two of you? Do you have any children?
Alas, no. Some extra
This live
hands
stream
would be
going
most
out
welcome
to
in the
Johnny
kitchen,
Alehouse
but we haven't yet been blessed. It's such a shame that Ronan
for
never
buying
got
me a
to be
pint
an uncle.
towards the end of my shift this evening. So I was able to have a cheeky little beer before coming home.
What are your thoughts
And
on
I'm
the
gonna
outcome
have
of the
a few cheeky
election?
more beers
Oh.
because
I haven't given it
Begin
much
to sleep.
thought, to be honest.
and,
It hardly seems to
Sam has
matter
gone
now.
to the cinema and her
Yes,
film
of
starts
My apologies.
this
for
very
bringing it
minute,
up.
actually.
Those are all the questions I have
9:45.
for now.
All
UK
right,
time.
Mr. Fordham.
Badminton, suck a fat dick, Paul. Come on. Trev, can you do one better than badminton as to what my favourite sport is, if you could even call it a sport? That's a clue in itself. Fuck me, like my little finger, right, and my ring finger are just really aching all like the last few hours. I have no idea why. Okay, this is a lot of shit to fucking look at. I want to go to his house, really, I think. What the fuck? Okay. Like, you're just listing
Quite the
actual
collection of
sports.
exotic
I
items
do
in
have a
here.
hockey
Ronan appears
jersey,
to be a seasoned
actually.
world traveler.
I paid a,
Or at least
I paid
knows
a
someone
top
who
bit
is.
of money for that. No, it's professional wrestling, you pair of gimps. I'm not going to look. We're just gonna do.
Just looking at this painting is making me feel
yes,
seasick.
WWE.
Locked. Naturally.
No. It's athletic ballet crossbred with a soap opera. And it's fucking entertaining.
Locked.
That did a glinty thing. Did you see that? Did anyone see a glinty thing then? If I click on that again, will it do another
Locked.
glinty thing?
Naturally.
Yeah, it did!
Locked. Naturally. This one is
That's a clue.
scarier than the other masks. Wait a moment. I think I saw something shiny in the back of the mouth.
You can't knock the athleticism though. The risks are real. That's why so many people get fucking go out early, injured too much, and it's just a damn shame.
How about that? A perfect hiding place for a key.
Respect those motherfuckers, and God bless those ones that fucking died through it. Except for Chris Benoit. We don't mention Chris Benoit. Except for just now where I did. In case you don't know, there's still some conspiracy theories about it, but the be-all and end-all basically is Chris Benoit went home, murdered his 2 children and his wife, and then killed himself. You know what? He probably fucking is as well. But you know what? After that little racist stunt he pulled, was that today? Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure he'd be welcomed with open fucking arms. I'll tell you what, if The Undertaker was still, like, young and in the locker room constantly, I guarantee, along with Ron Simmons and Bradshaw, if they were all still, like, in their prime and he came in during their time, they would beat the absolute living piss out of him. Something I'm not sure happens anymore these days. There used to be some hard hitters that would like properly batter people in the ring to like just say, "Are you sure you want to be part of this business?" Fucking smash in the face. Oh, he did a Twitter. Conor McGregor did a Twitter about it. Who was the fucking guy that he had his last UFC fight with? Basically, he said, "Yeah, but your wife's a towel, mate." He's a silly little bitch, and he needs to stop it. Anyway.
This mask looks African. You should try it on. It'd be an improvement. Some kind of owl mask. The hair looks incredibly familiar. Ronan's book collection mostly consists of cheap pulp adventure novels, but this top shelf looks interesting.
You know what, I'm not going to look it up. You look it up. Oh, fuck me. Drinking Beijing may be a shocking experience, to be used as a way of proving oneself in a group. It's often too much for anyone not used to it. It's caution, unless he wanted to end up face down in the back of an alley. Okay. Cause of death. Beijing. I usually read those out. Not
It's in
today.
another language, but it appears to be a Bible. No title, and it appears to be blank. I wonder if Ronan just kept empty books on his shelf to appear well read.
Oh, fuck me. Isn't this extinct? Am I ignorant? I don't know. This is definitely extinct. So's that one. Never see them. Okay, let's have a go at this.
Now to find out what Mr. Lespay finds so precious.
Hey, ship in a bottle. I've got one of those. It's about that big. I got it with a deluxe pre-order of an album called All Hands. You see where you might get the shit from. By Doomtree. Fucking good record. I didn't appreciate how good it was until I re-listened to it relatively recently. It was like, shit, that's a fucking good record. And I left it in Sam's car. She hasn't sold that car. I do hope that it is not sold, because that would make me very sad.
They appear to be a pair of letters from Ronan's landlord.
Good, can we look at them? We can. Right, let's read some shit. July 2nd, 1844. Ronan, with regards to your request for an extension to pay this month's rent, I'll gladly give you until next month. You've always been a reliable tenant who has paid on time, so don't be concerned. I hope you resolve your issues. Danforth. September 3rd, 1844. We're going to guess that it's just continued. Ronan, I understand. We all go through financial difficulties, but I'm afraid I can't extend my generosity beyond the end of 2 months. Please have the rent ready by then, or I'll have no choice but to seek legal action against you. Danforth. Fucker.
Ooh, this teacup could use a washing. I'd be surprised if it isn't permanently stuck to the desk.
If it was, it'd be stuck there where that fucking ring stain is.
This one appears to be from Emily.
Ronan, Gerald and I will be celebrating the new year and would like to invite you to spend it with us. Please feel free to bring along any guests you'd like, especially any lady friends you might have, or my love, Emily.
Looks like you found Ronan's journal. Perhaps this will be able to give us some more insight into what he was up to before he died.
Right,
so clearly we need to have a
Let's
date.
see. February 24th, 1844. Jimbo has been at sea for nearly 2 months. These long periods away are the most difficult, but all the time seems to disappear when I see him again. My solace is that he will return with plenty of tales of adventure. I can hardly wait to hear them.
Best friend? Gay friend? Well, good. I'm glad. I'm missing things. Glad I decided to cheat.
It's empty. Too bad. Aha. A letter from someone called Jimbo?
That was a rough night. Krusty, the reason that stream went on for as long as it did, I don't know if you noticed, I carried on trying to end it because I wanted to go to bed. Krusty was just relentless. Oh, he wanted me to sit. Yeah, he drank all of his cider. Krusty normally ends up leaving a couple, like 1 or 2 bottles of cider here. Like, so we won't finish them in the night, so we'll leave them for next week. This week he came with a bag fucking overflowing with cider. Drank all of them, plus the ones that were in the fridge already. So yes, Krusty drank all of the cider. Oh my god. Ronan, next week will be a year since we met. I can honestly say my life has changed for the better in every possible way, and I will always hold July 8th as a special day in my heart. I can't wait to see you again, Jimbo. That's not me. I don't go by Jimbo. Jimbo Slice, maybe.
There are 2 entries, one from this year and one from last.
So, start with last year's.
July 8th,
Krusty said he had a
I've
nuclear
decided I need to get
hangover.
out more, so I'm going to a club in Gascon.
I was fine.
Stuffing
tired,
animals has taken its toll, and I need to talk to someone who isn't
functional.
Emily or my coworkers. Gerald told me about a place called the Crimson Cat. I'll try it, and if I don't enjoy myself, I'll just come home. Now for this year's entry. July 8th, 1844. Today is our 1-year anniversary. We're going to meet at the Cat again.
So we
I
met
love
the cat.
him, but I wish he wasn't so attached to that place. Emily is so nosy, I worry that she might follow me and discover the truth about Jimbo. If we moved around, I wouldn't worry, but with him, it's always the Crimson Cat. I really shouldn't complain, though. What we have is something truly special.
Well, it seems that our best hope of finding this Jimbo character is to visit the Crimson
Gay
Cat.
lovers. Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I don't remember eating. Look, I ate here. I sat right here and ate. Didn't I? Yeah, I did. Because I found the plate the next morning on the chair. That's a Northern English thing. Call your main meal, your dinner, tea. What are you having for your tea? Your mum's pussy. Jokes, obviously. I'm just going to try and use the walkthrough just for
Hello,
directions.
welcome to the Grips
which
on
order I should do
Taxidermy
things
Shop.
in, 'cause I've
Please
fucked
let me know
myself
if I
over
can
with
be of
shit like this
service.
before. He's a big boy, and he's not right.
Is that supposed to be a lion? I wonder how many people it took to bring down this brute. There's a small button on the base.
Wifey. Cinema selfie. She's fucking on one tonight.
Reminds me of the one in the Dupre house, except that one actually looked alive. There's a small button on the base.
Well, this one actually reminds me of Simon the Sorcerer 2, which is a game that I've played. It was one of the earliest games we played on the channel, like the third game, I think, when we started doing Let's Plays. It went Titanic, Simon the Sorcerer 1, Simon the Sorcerer 2. And then I went for the world record speedrun of Simon the Sorcerer 2. And I would have beaten it as well if it wasn't for the fact that after I had the idea, I left it for like a month or two. And as soon as I was like, right, today's the day. Shortly after we moved in here, some motherfucker went in there and absolutely smashed it. And he's since done it again. And fucking, and beating that. But he's not playing PC version, he's using like an old DOS version, I think, where there's an extra exploit you can use to skip a bunch of shit, which is cheating. But if you go on the like World Speedruns website, whatever it is, if you go on, you'll find me on that fucking list because it's confirmed. That was a live stream. No, I don't like Kirby games. I like that song, and I'll tell you why. It's because we were inspired, as you will know from having watched Adventure Out Our Minds, GBTV, about us setting up and then playing the game. We were inspired by a YouTube channel called Two Best Friends. And their theme music was that Kirby theme. Because apparently the first time they thought, oh fuck it, let's have a go, they played a Kirby game. And then the next time they did it, they played a completely different game. Like completely different. But Matt thought it would be dead funny to keep the Kirby theme. And it just became a thing. And at one point it was even my ringtone. Which you probably noticed. I think my phone rang during the first Titanic Adventure Out of Time playthrough. And you would have heard that song there as well. I'm pretty confident that that is what that is. But the Two Best Friends became the Super Best Friends eventually, but they've all disbanded now. I think there's some pretty bad blood between them all now, which is really sad. But if you check out their YouTube channel, because it's all still there, obviously, you'll find that theme is their intro card to everything.
Exotic dead fauna from every other continent. You never even need to leave Vespuccia. I thought owls were supposed to be wise. How'd this one let itself end up on display in a place like this? That leads into a room with even more dead things. It's such a shame we haven't the time to stick around and explore.
It is really. Toucan. Very old poster for Guinness involved here. I forget what the pun was. We had a poster of it.
I was wondering if you might answer some questions for me.
Of course. What can I help you with?
He is a pasty motherfucker. He's not albino, though. His eyes aren't right for that.
I was told Ronan Lespay works here. Do you know him?
Ronan? Yes, of course. That is to say, I know he works here. I haven't had much interaction with him. He mostly keeps to himself.
Does he have an office or workspace I might have a look at?
Now, wait just a minute. Why would I let some random stranger off the street in to look at an employee's workspace?
Because I'm a private investigator and I'm trying to get some information.
Well, even if that is the case, I'm afraid you're out of luck. Ronan does have a workspace, but it's completely bare. He doesn't keep anything here.
Were you aware that Ronan was murdered 4 nights ago?
I
That would explain why he's not been
That's
into work.
awful. What happened?
That's what I'm currently trying to find out. Do you know if Ronan had any enemies? Anyone who might want to do him harm?
No. As I said, I didn't speak with him much, or know much about him. But now that I think about it, I did notice a strange man waiting around outside the shop a few days ago.
Tell me about this strange man you saw.
At the time, I
Big
didn't think much of
silhouette.
him. But the more I recall, the more I realized he was being very suspicious.
What did he do?
He just stood outside across the street, but he seemed to be focusing on the building. It was as though he was waiting for someone.
Do you remember what this man looked like?
I didn't get a very good look at him, but I do remember some things. He was tall and had a heavy build, like a boxer or a dock worker. He had a beard, I think.
one.
Or
Big
mutton
bushy
chops, at the very
beard.
least. And as far as I can recall, he was wearing all black.
No,
He
I
also
never
had on some
made a
kind of
beat out
cap.
of it, if that's what you're
I'm
getting
sorry,
at.
I can't give you a better description, but that's all I was
Too
able to
chirpy.
distinguish.
What the fuck am I meant to do with
My
that?
eyesight isn't very good.
Saying that, we did listen to the
It'll have to do.
Bantamania. That was a
Thank you for your
massive
help.
clue. My Jay's board stream when we listened to the whole fucking Bantamania soundtrack. The Me and Kev song, Lol and Evil, was our collective name, for Ben Ruff. That is a really chirpy track. Right, I got a BRB real quick. Give me un momento and I shall return. Okay. I left the game sound on. Oh, my bad. Are you really? You know why that is? It's because normally when I do these things, I press pause, and that kills the sound. I haven't got a way of just muting game audio with my Steam Deck, unfortunately. I bet that sounded fucking horrific then. My bad.
Anything you can tell me about the shop?
Plenty. This is New Britannia's most sophisticated taxidermy shop. Unlike other taxidermists, we work with modern technology to get results they could only dream of.
What does that mean exactly?
Using steam tech, we are able to create the illusion of life in these beasts. Just take a look at our floor samples. The parrot and gorilla are two of our finest works. They really speak for themselves. Well, the parrot does at least. I think it would frighten our customers if the gorilla did too. And once ethericity is harnessed as a viable source of energy, we'll get even better results.
Again.
This guy is way too excited about bringing dead things back to life.
Yes. Fascinating. Moving on. So how did you get this job?
Oh, it isn't a terribly exciting story, I'm afraid.
Well, tell it regardless, because we're here.
Position. I never expected to learn so much about taxidermy.
I'm sure he's amazing conversation at parties.
Yeah, no doubt.
Any thoughts on the recent election?
I'd really rather not talk about it. I don't know how the people of this country could put someone like Hart Leroy in charge.
I know what you mean. Leroy may be a champion of the common man, but Atwood's vision for the future is more important right now.
I couldn't agree more. Leroy wants to forsake all the technological advances of the last decade and take us back to the Dark Ages. Next thing you know, he'll be bringing slavery back.
I doubt he'd go to such extremes.
Well, we wouldn't want
Perhaps
anyone
we should
to.
drop the subject. I get a bit passionate when it comes to these sorts of things.
Thank you for your help.
Well, we found in-game
Yes,
Krusty then. Are we done here then? Presumably. Well, let's do what I do best and go to the bar. The shots at the bar! I don't pay shit 'cause it's an open bar. Wish I still had that record. That fucking song is quality. My mate Trey from high school back in Manchester released an EP years ago. I can't remember what it was called, but I'll tell you this, none of the songs had names, so I ripped it to the computer, which implies I've still got a CD somewhere. And I asked him, so what are the song titles so I can actually make this work? And he was like, I don't know. It's your record, dickhead. In-game Krusty, he just said he got like really passionate about discussing politics, so maybe leave it. So yeah, in-game Krusty. Here we go, here's some fuckery.
It's an ad for whiskey. Or perhaps paint thinner. Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference.
True that, true that.
Your mascot seems to be a raven with a glowing red eye. Is that meant to attract customers or to scare them off? I suppose you could do worse, as far as bar names go. These advertisements are all at least 10 years out of date. What a mess. To think, in an instant, a man's life can be reduced to some scribbles on the filthy pavement.
Now's not the time to get poetic, Bill.
Here's the thing. I'm just getting sent so many fucking selfies. Oh, this looks fine.
Yesterday's rain has made the water level rise significantly. Is it just me, or does it look like there's something resting at the bottom of the drain?
If there is, I have no way of getting to it through the drain.
I played one Kirby game on the Game Boy, as in the original Game Boy, and I couldn't tell you what the fuck it was. It was probably Kirby in Dreamland, because aren't they all?
Yesterday's rain has made the water level rise significantly. Is it just me, or does it look like there's something resting at the bottom of the drain?
If there is, I have no way of getting to it through the drain cover.
Well,
securely fastened, unfortunately for you. If only there was some way to undo these bolts and remove the drain cover.
useless.
My, this grog shop looks pretty rough, even by chum standards. Best keep a low profile while you're in here, Miles.
You mean immediately talk to this drunken cunt? I don't think I'm allowed to do anything.
Doesn't look like cleaning up is high on the list of priorities around here.
Two fucking broken glasses, knives, kegs, bottles.
They don't seem to have much variety in their beer selection.
Should be Dreamland.
Looks like that's where they keep the good stuff. Of course, around here, good is an extremely relative term.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
I take it that Kirby's like one of your hard-on games. The answer comes through basically immediately.
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Nah, never heard of him.
He was killed here 4 nights ago. The man in
Saw
the spare
the
type.
mini Sega Mega Drive got announced the other
I
day
never
for
saw him
Genesis to
before
you
that night,
guys.
and I didn't talk to him. You with the
The question
police or
is,
something?
do I get one?
No, not at all. I'm just
As
trying
Kevin's
to
told
help
me,
his sister find out what happened.
It's a collector's
So are you done with the
item,
questions?
and that's,
Can I get
that's
you a
the thing
drink or
that
what?
gets me right in
Yeah,
the
she's a
fucking
shrewd
silly
businesswoman.
brain.
You at least have to give
Do
her that.
like collecty things, but at the same time, I spent over the odds on getting another Mega Drive in a classic box. Why the fuck was the GoPro on? Who knows? Then a Mega CD, the first one I ever had. That was brand new, it turned out. Absolutely brand new. All the elements inside that I needed to put the thing, attach it to the Mega Drive, were still in sealed plastic. Ridiculous. And I've got the 32X there as well. Which I never had one of those either. I spent so much money getting those. Do I need a mini Mega Drive? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. Will I get one though? Debatable.
Were you working on election night?
Pal, I'm here most every night.
So that's a yes, then?
Alright then, young Kathy
Christ on a
Walker.
cracker. You ain't too bright, are ya? Yes, I was here on election night.
There's no need to be rude about it, madam. Tell me what you know about the murder that took place outside on election night.
Kev probably does like
Listen,
Kirby.
chum, do you know how busy we were that night? This was a polling place. We had gents coming in and out for hours, not to mention the regular clientele. I was up to my ass in drink orders and was running the shift all by myself. Had to break up God knows how many fights, too. So you'll excuse me if I didn't exactly notice something that happened out on the street.
Did you at least hear the gunshot?
No, I didn't. You try distinguishing
Alright,
a gunshot
gunshot,
over a
so
room
not
full
the
of rowdy
drink, then.
voters. It ain't gonna happen.
Why would you have a polling station in a rough as fuck boozer? It makes no sense.
What can you tell me about this place?
It's a bar.
No,
People
I
come here
would
to
not
drink.
text him and ask. He's probably
Sometimes
in
people
work and
drink too
furious.
much, and then they're sick all over. I get the honor of cleaning up the mess.
Sounds like you're not too pleased with your job.
I never said that. There may be rough days, but there's a lot worse I
Her
could be
tongue
doing.
is incredibly
Here I get
red.
a place to sleep and a bit to eat and a few coins in my pocket if the customers are pleased. And you are pleased, ain't you, sir?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course I am.
Good.
You mentioned regular clientele. Who are they?
Oh, we get plenty of regulars in here, too many to name.
Which of them were here on election night?
Let me think. I remember seeing 3 of the usual crowd. There was Darius, up to no good as always. Then there was Singin' Tom, but he wasn't around for too long. And how could I forget old Cormac? He'd have talked my ear off if I'd let him.
Sound like an interesting bunch of folks.
Fucking hell.
Where might I find the landlord?
You won't find him anywhere. He doesn't come around here more than once a month.
Seems like a great guy.
What can you tell me about Darius?
Hey now, bucko. You've come in here asking me all these questions, but I ain't seen nothing from you. You want more information? You're gonna have to earn it.
Right. Give me
Let
a
me
gin
get
then.
my dick out.
Coming right up.
Get carried away now, Miles.
There you are. 1 gin. That'll be 2 shillings.
There's 3. Now then, about Darius.
Now that man is trouble. I've had to throw him out a few times.
Why do you say he's trouble?
His mind's affected by the poppy seed. He can be gentle as a kitten or fly into a rage at a moment's notice.
Opium
when
boy.
he gets rowdy, he gets chucked.
I see. Any idea where I might be able to find him?
Don't know why you'd want to find him, but I hear he spends his day at a smokehouse nearby. I believe it's on Crisparkle Lane. Just look for the door with
Shouldn't
the
that make him
oriental
chill as
symbols
fuck,
above
though?
it.
And could you describe him to me?
He's a rough-looking
I don't know
sort,
much about
about
drugs.
55 years
Really?
old, has a scar on his left cheek, grayish hair, medium build.
Excellent.
She is that.
Thank you. Who is Singing Tom?
Ah, Tom. Not sure what his surname is, but he's in here about twice a week. We call him Singing Tom because he leads a church choir.
Is that right? Which church?
Oh, I haven't a clue. Never really cared to ask.
Does he associate with any of the other regulars?
I've seen him talking with Darius a few times. They seem to be on friendly terms.
Wonderful.
Tell me about Cormac.
He's in here most every night. Doesn't speak to many people, just me. And a right chatterbox he is, too. Between you and me, Cormac stinks. I can understand why he doesn't keep much company.
He stinks?
Aye, he's a sewer worker. Spends all
Lovely.
his day underground in the muck, so he always reeks of shit.
I see. Any idea where specifically he works?
I believe he's at the treatment station, over near the ferry terminal.
If this is going where I think it is, then I'm especially glad I can't smell anything anymore.
Have you worked here long?
13 years.
I see. Anything else you can tell me about yourself?
I ain't the friendly type.
Getting
Right. Understood. I was given the physical description of a man, and I was wondering if you might recognize him if I told you.
Perhaps. Go on, then.
He's tall, strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Bit vague, wouldn't you say? That covers about half our clientele.
I was afraid that might be the case. Did you notice anyone of that description here on election night?
No. Can't say I did, sorry.
Any thoughts on the election?
Nah, couldn't care less, really. Doesn't matter who's in charge. My life ain't getting any better.
But it can certainly get worse with Leroy in office.
And that's why you didn't
We'll
vote,
see.
isn't it?
I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Next. I think this is the busiest I've ever seen the map.
So this is what it's come to, eh? Braving the stench of human waste in hopes of finding a lead. Just make sure you stay away from the edge.
I like the fact that Bernie's having another crack at it. If I was with you guys, Bernie, get my vote. Just saying.
Handy to know where you are. But why would anyone actually travel around the city this way?
It's quiet. Not a lot of people are going to see you. A lot of light down here, though.
Some sort of water treatment device would be my guess. For all I know, it could just be a fancy boiler for tea.
It has got a face, though. Eyes, nose, mouth. And additional snail eyes on top, which is always
Another
nice.
mysterious device. I was happier not knowing all this went on after I used the commode. Another mysterious machine. Who knew dealing with human waste involved so much
Ninja
technology?
Turtles, damn right.
I hope those aren't full of what I think. While you could use a bath, I don't think this is the right place to take a dip.
Probably not, no. Leave us with this guy.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What? Who are you? What are you doing down here?
My name's Miles Fordham. And I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a sewer worker by the name of Cormac.
You needn't look no further. But what is this about?
I just have a few questions for you.
All right. Cormac will answer them, but don't dally for too long. It can
Half-Life,
be dangerous
right.
down here for anyone who's not trained as Cormac is.
Do you often speak in the third person, friend?
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Cormac knows few men. People don't much like talking to a man who spends his days in the sewers. Can't really blame him for it. It's hard to get a stink off, so why bother even trying?
You didn't answer my question, though. Do you know Ronan Le Spey or not?
Could you describe him? Cormac's got a better memory for faces than for names.
I have his portrait. Here, have a look.
You've lost me. Perry is now.
Yes.
I'm completely
Cormac
lost.
saw this fellow recently.
On election night?
That's right. He come into the bar, voted, went out. Looked drunk to Cormac, but then everyone at that place usually is.
Do you frequent a pub called the Silent Raven?
Yes. The Raven is where Cormac goes to forget about the day's work. The barmaid, Nicole, she's a good sort. We likes talking about the pony.
That makes much more sense.
Nicky loves her some racing. She gives Cormac drinks for cheap in exchange for odd jobs. Nice to have your own personal sewer man, I suppose. She's really the only one Cormac talks to. There's a few others Cormac sees often, but Cormac hasn't spoken with them.
Ripes. This guy goes on and on, doesn't he? To be fair, you were warned.
That we were.
Do you know anything about the murder that took place outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder?
Murder!
Yes. The commotion out in the alleyway.
But a murder!
Do you see or hear anything?
It was a touch noisy that night.
You haven't
What with
shared
all the
anything to your
election
page
stuff
in a while.
happening,
What page
but
is
Cormac
this?
remembers the sound
Oh,
of
it's
the
got
gun.
it's
One
Gracious
shot,
Bears page.
and then shouting and
Oh.
hollering from the bar.
Nothing to
A
report.
few people run outside to look at what happened, but Cormac just stayed in his seat and finished his whiskey.
So you didn't see the man who was shot, or who shot him?
No, keeps to himself, Cormac does. Makes life easier that way.
Could he be any more unhelpful? Actually, it's probably best not to find him.
Is anyone else ever so slightly worried about Red? I was hoping he might show up. Now I'm kind of worried that he might be dead.
Is it difficult being a sewer worker?
Difficult? Nah, it's a dream. Especially since they introduced all these steam tech treatments and purification whatsits. The only thing Cormac's got to do is check the little dial never goes into the red on old Belinda.
Belinda?
Aye, the purifier. She's a real special lady who's made Cormac's life so much brighter.
Sounds
Cormac
important.
makes sure to thank her each and every day.
Wonderful.
Bit
You're
weird.
talking to a lunatic.
Wasn't so easy a few years ago. Back then it was tapping on pipes all day.
Tapping on pipes?
To make sure they was flowing
Textual cat.
fine and not blocked. Cormac would take his little hammer and tap, tap, tap on the pipes to make sure they was
That means
ringing
Kev's
fine.
around.
You
I'll
can
text
imagine
Kev
what that
for you.
was like. Tap, tap, tap. Ring, ring, ring. All day, up and down, over and over. The tapping stopped, but the ringing never left. Still hears it to this day, Cormac does.
I've asked the
Do you
question.
have any
Now it
opinions
is in
regarding
God's
the election?
hands.
Cormac hears lots of things about Atwood, but he's the one what's got this new machinery put into the sewer system. There's still a job for
25
Cormac,
past 10, he's probably
so
just
all that
finished.
talk about being replaced by machines is just talk.
I don't know if he likes Kirby
But
yet.
Leroy says he wants to give the workers their fair chance, so Cormac can't argue with that. What about you?
I would have preferred Atwood stay in office myself.
Bah, they's all the same in the end. One way or another. No point worrying, says old Cormac.
Smell weed again. Fucking house.
Would you be able to remove the cover of a storm drain?
Yes, of course, sir. Cormac's got the right tool for the job.
Oh, that's useful.
Just a few twists
Kev does
from
like
old
curvy
Mary
ones.
here, and any drain will open up like a Christmas rose.
Excellent. Would you be able to open the storm drain outside the Silent Raven?
Suppose so, yes. But Cormac ain't allowed to just open up drains as he sees fit. What do you want this drain open for?
Christ, he wants us to play Kirby Star Allies at some point. He's now thinking about his favourite one.
I believe there's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain.
You don't say.
It's quite true. It may even help me solve a murder.
Well then, in that case, Cormac will get the drain open for you. Come on, there's not a moment to lose. This it then?
That's the one.
Right, won't be a moment. There we are.
Thank you for your help, Cormac.
Not a problem. Now, if you don't mind, Cormac's just going to pop inside for a quick pint.
The answer to the question is Kirby Superstar for the SNES. Then probably Star Allies. Are we sated? Do we have our answers? Fucking of course you did.
Detective work is a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
Then the golf
Don't forget
one.
to roll up your sleeve.
I really
To be
hope
fair,
there's something down
like a
there.
bit of golf.
Ugh. This is almost as bad as the time I had to search for that stolen necklace in a pile of horse manure.
I'm really glad I didn't draw the short straw in that case. Well, how about that?
Oh yeah, I
Wish the
do
police had
remember
found this, so I wouldn't have to carry it
hearing
around.
that Kevin Foy played some Kirby golf relatively recently. And I missed getting a clue. What was it? It was a pistol, motherfucker, a muck-covered pistol found at the bottom of the storm drain outside the Silent Raven. Bitch! That sounds overly complicated, Trev. You should just concentrate on building a house. Right, what am I meant to do now? Okay, I'm meant to go back in here. We'll find out why. Immediately. Oh, he's on the bed.
She doesn't seem the type for idle chat. Best wait until you've got something to ask her.
Okay, right, I followed this to the fucking letter. Trev, you explain what you did in a hack, what you want to do in a hack, and the rest of it as I try and work out what the fuck went wrong. Oh, I might have missed something with him. That's probably why he's there. I don't think I exhausted all the options with him earlier.
Moment
so let's
of your
do that.
time, if I may.
Right, we'll make it quick.
Yeah, probably that
I
one.
wonder if you could tell me if you saw a man of this description at the Silent Raven on election night. He's tall, of strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Oh, aye. Cormac remembers seeing a fella like that.
What was he doing?
Kept going in and out of the bar. When he was inside, he stood near
Kirby's
the
dream
voting
course
booths,
for
hardly moving a
confirmation
muscle.
on the golf.
And when he was outside?
That, Cormac couldn't say.
Did you notice anything else about him?
Yes, Cormac noticed him come in and speak with Nicole, the barmaid, after the commotion outside.
Is that right? That's very interesting. Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to your drink.
You built a level, an entire level. Jesus.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
I mean, that's all very well and good, but to be honest, I do need someone who can make point-and-click games.
You know that description I gave you earlier of the tall man in black?
Yeah, what about it?
I spoke with Cormac, and he told me he saw you speaking with someone fitting that description shortly after the murder occurred.
And you believed him? Cormac's a good sort, but he's not exactly reliable.
I'd say he's twice as reliable as you are. Now tell me the truth, or I'll have you in as an accomplice to murder.
All right, relax. I don't know the man by name, But he came to me after the commotion outside and paid me a few crowns to keep my mouth shut about it. I didn't ask any more questions, and I wasn't about to refuse some extra cash. That was that, I swear.
That's not good enough. I need some way to find this man. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Well, I did notice he had a scar
I do
on
not
his
play
left
Tropico.
cheek.
I know what it is, but I do
Kinda
not play
like a
it. Not my
shepherd's
kind of
crook.
game.
But that's all, really.
Suppose that'll have to do. I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
Wait, so where am I going now? Right, okay. Well, apparently I need to save.
I wonder how many layers of advertisements you'd have to cut through before getting to the wall. Crisparkle Lane. Nothing crisp or sparkly about it. I can't make heads or tails of it, but I'll bet you 10 crowns it doesn't say welcome.
Yes? What do you want?
I'll have 1 drugs, please.
I'm looking for a man named Darius. I believe he may be inside.
Yeah, I don't know anybody with that name. So if that's all you wanted, get lost.
Yeah, kind of like that, but with more dictatorship.
I was told this was the place to come if I wanted to ride the dragon.
Oh. Well, why didn't you say so? Please.
I was going to say that
come in.
first.
Poor horse. That fellow in the armor must have weighed a ton. Fancy. At least they provide their clients with some measure of privacy.
Yeah, if you're over there, not this dude. Oh, who is who we are here to see?
Now I see why they call it riding the dragon.
Oh, she's watching us.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a man by the name of Darius.
Well, look no further. Welcome, friend. Sit, join me.
I'll stand, if that's all right. I was
I
wondering if
didn't
I could ask you a
tell
few questions.
Kev who it was
Questions are the path to enlightenment.
to ask the question.
Answers fly
But
by
he's
as
just told me
birds
to
on the
show
breeze.
you this.
What will the
So I'm
cage
waiting on
bird
him
sing?
to
That is the
fucking
true
bring
question.
something up.
Wonderful. He's as high as a kite. This is gonna be worse than pulling teeth.
So I assume he's been on the stream for at least 2 seconds to check for himself.
Are you familiar with a man named Ronan Lespay?
I know many.
He's gone
men.
offline
Some old, some young,
and
some
he sent me
rich,
nothing.
some
Well done,
poor.
Kev.
Some I know by name, some by face. But this man you speak of, this Ronan, he is unfamiliar to me.
I have a ferrotype. Do you recognize him?
Forgive me, but my eyes are blurry. I cannot make out his features.
Is this going to be it? Every
Well,
Irish
he's
accent
useless,
now?
isn't he? Too bad there's no way to snap him out of it, like there was with Dupre's kid.
Oh wait, here we go. This is off Kev's Instagram. He's got a Kirby lamp thing and gamey stuff. I think, by the looks of it. There you go.
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder? Was it a murder?
It was. A man was shot in cold blood.
That would explain the commotion, as well as the sound.
So you heard the gunshot?
I did. I thought it might have been one of the voting machines making the noise. But then there were shouts, and people began to run.
Did you see or hear anything before you heard the gunshot?
I seem to remember hearing a man shouting a name.
A name?
Yes. It sounded like Priscilla.
Well, how about that? He's managed to be of some use after all. Assuming he's telling the truth, of course.
And does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Afraid not, young man.
What can you tell me about the Silent Raven?
Ah, the Raven. My home away from home.
I would have thought that was this place. Unless this one is just the home.
Do you have many friends there? People you speak with often?
I did not get SimCity 2003 when I got Windows 95.
But really, what is a friend? Someone who drinks with you? Someone who shares secrets?
I played it,
with
obviously,
you?
but
Are those friends? My father
Still
used
not
to
my
tell
type
me
of game.
that the only two friends you had were your mother and the crown in your pocket. Well, both of those are gone now. So what does that mean for me?
I don't know, sir. I'm just asking about people you speak to at the Raven.
The barmaid, Nicole.
Fucking stinks
She
of
gets
weed.
mad at me
Why?
sometimes.
I fucking
when I
hate
break
the
things
smell,
down.
man.
But she's all right.
You got a weird version of Windows, fam.
Have you ever conversed with a patron called Singing Tom?
Singing Tom. You mean old Tom Puffin?
I'm not sure. I was just told he was called Singing Tom and was a regular at the Silent Raven.
That's the man. I see
Singing
him
Tom,
here all the
everybody.
time.
In here, not just at the Raven?
Tom is a child of the poppy, just as I am. He truly understands the world as it is.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Yes, he's the choir master at St. Denis Cathedral. That's where he spends his time when he's not here.
You mean
Location.
to tell me we have to talk to another one of these loonies? Wonderful.
I remember when SimCity 4 came out, there was a fucking massive controversy about it because of the DRM. And it had to always be online. And when it just released, the servers carried on crashing due to the amount of people that wanted to play it, which meant the it had to be online thing was retarded.
Do you often come to this establishment, Darius?
Oh yes, this place is better than any doctor or hospital. It
No,
has
we need to
exactly
wait for
the cure
payday
you
to
need.
send this little beauty
Sure.
off.
For what?
I'm ill, sir.
Still here,
Just
looking
as
after
you
it.
are. Just as we all are.
Good lad.
Infected by a terrible disease known as life.
Cully's really worried
Good for
about it
yourself.
getting sent
Just
as well.
spend a
He's
few
like,
hours in
well,
here
what I
with
built
the
it out of, I'm
intoxicating
really
nectar
nervous
of
it'll
the
just get
poppy,
smashed to
and you'll
pieces.
find
So,
nothing can defeat
we'll send it. If it survives or not is another matter.
Please don't bother me with such trivial matters. Why should I care who leads the government? As long as they don't outlaw places like this, they can do whatever they please.
We're still trying to think of
guy
some
ignorant or just
some
apathetic?
cheeky bonuses
Yeah, well,
to throw
I
in
don't know,
there as well.
and I don't care.
We do like a good old cheeky bonus. Well, obviously, bubble wrap.
I was wondering if you could tell me whether you saw a certain man at the Raven on election night. He's tall, strong build,
Polystyrene chips.
with a beard
probably.
or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Lots of people like that go to the Raven. I see loads of them every night. But now that you mention it, I do remember someone like that. He was a strange one.
How so?
I remember one of the times he came in, he was adjusting his hat. I could have sworn when he took it off for just a moment, his hair was bright red.
How is that strange, exactly?
Because his beard was jet black. It was the oddest thing I'd seen. Well, it
Interesting.
was the oddest thing I'd seen. Until his beard slid halfway down his face.
I see. Well, thank you for the information.
Okay.
His testimony is about as useful as a hole in the head. And again, there might be something to it.
Yeah, like a disguise.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, young man. May you find peace and happiness.
I don't rate SimCity. There's another one, a better one, that Sips used to play on his channel. I used to really enjoy it. I enjoyed watching it. I don't enjoy playing it. Fuck, what was it called? I don't know. I can't think. It was a good game though.
She's not going to be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Good. Leaving. Fish and chips. Oh, I'm so hungry, man. I'm not sure if there's any food in. I've not eaten. I'm likely not to eat. It's beer for dinner. Anyway, I want to go to the 5-0 station.
I was beginning to wonder when you'd show up.
Well, wonder no longer. I'm here and I need to see Dr. Edwards.
Oh, I see how it is. He helped you solve a case, and now you don't have time for us lowly front desk clerks.
That's just the way it goes, Upton. Maybe next time you should pick a nicer coffee house.
Right. You know the way. Snelling isn't in today, so you're all clear.
Well, that's a relief. Thanks, Upton.
Off we go. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Edwards.
Ah, Fordham. Always a pleasure.
Have you got time for some questions?
Of course.
So what can you tell me about Ronan Lespay?
Caucasian male, approximately 27 years old. Died of blood loss as a result of being shot at close range. He was brought in 4 nights ago. I performed the post-mortem the following day. After that, his next of kin was contacted. I believe his sister came to identify the body.
Any personal opinions on what might have happened?
Well, the fact he was shot at such a close range would suggest it was done by someone he knew. And robbery doesn't appear to be a motive, since his wallet was found on the body with money in it. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine.
I fucking pay you to see some references from some more recent series.
Did the post-mortem reveal anything?
Quite a few things, actually. Mr. Lespay was extremely inebriated when the shooting took place. There was enough alcohol in his blood to presume he had been drinking for hours before his death. I also managed to remove the bullet from his heart. It's a .36 caliber lead ball, standard revolver shot. It shouldn't be too hard to match to a weapon, provided you can find it.
I do have a gun.
Did you notice anything unusual about the clothes Mr. Lespay was wearing?
Unusual? Not really. They seemed a bit big for him, but that's all.
His sister seemed convinced that they didn't belong to him.
That's a distinct possibility, but I couldn't say for sure. He could have just been a sloppy dresser.
I found this pistol at the scene of the Lespay crime. Did you take a look and see if it was used to murder him?
It's all slimy. Where was it?
Sitting at the bottom of a storm drain.
Oh, I suppose that's not as exciting as finding it inside someone's intestines. Did I
That would
ever
be a
tell
bit
you about
weird.
that post-mortem, by the way?
What?
No, I certainly don't want to hear about it now. How long will it take you to analyze that pistol?
I should have something conclusive within the hour, if you don't mind waiting.
No, it'll give me some time to gather my thoughts.
Yay for waiting.
Right. I've concluded my...
1 hour later.
This gun was definitely used to shoot Mr. Lespay. The bullet I removed from his body is a perfect match.
Thank you, Edwards. That is extremely helpful.
There's one more thing. I cleaned off some of the muck and found the initials JB etched into the handle.
Interesting.
My expertise with guns is purely forensic,
Jimbo.
so I can't determine if this is the gun's maker or the
his name,
initials
wasn't
of
it
its
Jimbo?
owner. That's going to have to be yours.
Jimbo.
Thank you, Edwards. Help is always appreciated.
Smashing.
How's the coroner business?
Things have been pretty dead around here lately.
Don't quit your day job, Edwards.
Aha.
What are your thoughts on the election?
There was an election?
I think our friend Edwards needs to get out a bit more.
I'll be going now, Edwards.
Take care, Fordham. And remember, not everyone gets to leave the morgue alive. So consider
Where am I
yourself
going now?
lucky that you can.
Okay, just upstairs, and then I need to save the game. You bastard.
Can we talk for a moment, Upton?
Certainly. What's on your mind?
You wouldn't happen to know anything about Ronan Lespay, would you?
Probably nothing more than you already know. His body is in the mortuary, and the reason for his murder is unknown. I suggest you speak with Dr. Edwards.
I'm guessing you can't go over this case with me either.
I have to distance myself completely from this one. So when you figure it out, you'll need to speak directly to Mrs. Morgan. I can
I've
still
left it
try
long
and
enough.
help you if
Something's
there's something
definitely
specific
tickled
giving
Paul.
you
I wonder
trouble,
what
though.
it is. Is it going to be what my guess was going to be? Or is it something else?
How are things with you?
Better
No, I
than
will not
last
say what my
week,
guess
but
is.
plenty
I
of
will
feathers
be
still
proven
ruffled
right,
around here.
And then announce it
What
all
happened?
wrong, and I'll go, oh.
You have to ask. Snelling was not happy with you turning up at the Latham crime scene. He was a right inquisition around here. Snelling going around to interrogate everyone, trying to ferret out a leak.
So he suspects.
I'm afraid so. I managed to calm him down some and divert suspicion. He thinks someone on the force is speaking to the Gazette, not to you directly.
Well, that's some kind of relief. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Oh, don't worry about me. Well, maybe worry about me a little.
I worry about that weird-ass chin you've got going on.
That was one hell of an election, wasn't it?
That it was. I don't know how he managed it, but I'm glad Leroy won.
I can't say I agree, but I'm not really surprised. Leroy may have started as something of a dark horse, but his campaign had been gaining a lot of steam leading up to the election. Pun not intended.
Yes, well, it's the steam tech issue that clinched it. When something like the Lygia happens, people start to wake up and wonder if we really want contraptions like that in our lives.
You have to admit, he was playing up on people's fears. Not exactly the most honorable way of getting into office.
Fordham, since when have politics ever been honorable?
Upton, I need you to put out a bulletin. There's someone I need found.
Oh? Who's that?
I don't know his name. I only have a description.
All right, I'll need to ask you a few questions. Could you describe the man's height and build?
Big boy. He was a big boy, wasn't he? Big boy?
He's tall, with a large build.
All right. What color is his hair?
Red.
I'm certain it's red.
All right. Do you know of any unique details that might make him easier to identify?
Not that one, not that one. Yeah, that's the disguise, isn't it?
Beard, or mutton chops.
I see. Well, I'll put out the
I'm
bulletin,
tell you what my guess is. That's the beauty of being me.
Description. All right, the bulletin is out. I'll let you know if I hear anything.
Thanks, Upton. I appreciate the help.
No, what I was going to do tonight is I was going to edit the last remaining thing I need to for the Patreon exclusive series, and then that would be out this weekend. And now it's not going to be out this weekend, so I'm sorry about that because I want to play this. But you're here anyway, so you know, treats. What am I doing? Oh, I need to save the game. I need to go to... a place that I do not have on this list. What? Oh, I fucked it up. I fucked it up. Oh, I went the wrong place. I saw her face and just went there. I put out an APB on the wrong thing. It was a scar on the face. I'm such a silly bitch.
Can we talk for a moment, Upton?
Certainly. What's on your mind?
Can I try giving you...
Sure. Could...
He's tall.
All right.
I'm certain...
I was tempted to go with the scar,
yes,
because I remember the chick mentioning it,
cheek,
but
the shape of a shepherd's crook.
Good. That will be... All right, I'll put out the bulletin. All right, the bulletin is out. I'll let you know if...
Upton? Just got your bulletin.
Hello, Giles. Have you got something for me?
As a matter of fact, I've got someone in the jail fitting your description perfectly.
You don't say.
Yup. Name's Harvey Presser. Got picked up a couple of days ago.
Thank you, Giles. You heard the man, Fordham. You've got yourself someone to interrogate over at Bow Street.
Smashing. Save. In Terry Boy. Got some multiples. I think. Does we? No, I missed something. I missed something again. Oh god, again we're clicking in the wrong fucking place, you stupid bitch.
Can we talk for a moment?
Certainly.
Upton, what do you have on this Harvey Presser fellow?
Give me a moment, and I'll locate the arrest report.
Do that.
Here we are. He was picked up in a bar in Chumley after being identified as the leader of a cooping gang by one of his fellow gang members.
So much for loyalty. Anything else about him?
Not much besides his address.
That might be worth looking into.
It's 5885 Riverview Road, right near the asylum.
Sounds fine.
Ah, wonderful. Maybe afterwards you can drop by and pick out a room.
I'll let you get back to work.
And you'd better do the same.
Try saving again. That one, please. Overwrite. Yes, please. Right, we should have a new... There it is.
Just a moment.
This looks like a lovely place. She's wearing stilettos, though, which is weird, considering the surroundings. With the 3 hoovers. I assume that's what they are.
Ooh, she doesn't look like the type to take any guff. Better watch yourself, Miles.
Mrs. Presser, I'd like to speak with you about your husband.
Well, he's not here right now. He's been away for a few days, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you exactly?
My name's Miles Fordham. I just have a few questions. I promise this won't take long.
All right, come in. But try and keep it down. My daughter isn't feeling well, and I don't want her being disturbed.
She doesn't look so good.
Probably gonna
The
die.
man's coat. Seems Harvey wasn't expecting to be out for very long.
And has in fact been out for a while. Very high ceilings.
Seems to be a notice from the bank threatening to foreclose on this place if they're late on their rent payment again. No wonder Harvey's taken a second job.
Well, and they've decided to give it pride of place upon the mantle. Bit weird.
Some of those modern steam cleaners, if they use them in this place, they clearly aren't worth a damn. Presumably that goes into the presser's bedroom. Or it might be a closet. Or both. It seems peasant soup is on the menu tonight.
Well, at least they've got a pot to piss in.
Mrs. Presser?
Yeah, what?
Nothing.
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never heard of him.
And you've never seen the man in this ferrotype?
Nope. And I'm glad I haven't. Looks like a real pushover.
What does your husband do for a living, Mrs. Presser?
Harvey? He's a traveling salesman. Sells steam-powered cleaners like the ones in the corner there.
Oh?
Doesn't make much money on account of most people being afraid of steam tech these days. But Harvey tries his best to provide for me and little Mary. He's a good man. The job takes him out of town for days at a time, but we get by.
And that's all
What, bees?
What are you asking? You know something I don't?
Yes.
No, not at all. I was just curious.
Not this time of year, but
look,
yeah,
another
we
husband
got
keeping secrets
bees.
from his wife. There are a copper a dozen around here, it seems.
At one point, I lived in a house with a bee's nest fucking underneath my kitchen. The back door was through the kitchen, so you had to go over a step where all the fucking bees were flying in and out of. Horrifying. And in the same place, my bedroom, right above my bedroom, wasp nest. Fucking fantastic. A riot.
So what do you do while your husband's away?
Hang on there. What are you playing at? I'm a married woman.
I merely wanted to know a bit more about you, that's all. I meant no disrespect.
Is that your game? Asking innocent ladies about themselves so you can have your way?
She doesn't have to worry about being mistaken for innocent, that's for sure.
No, you know what? Just forget I said anything.
Please do. Well, this is going to go well.
Is your daughter all right?
She's just come down with a bit of something. This stew
Yeah,
I'm making
we-
will put her right
honey
again.
boys.
I've been giving her
Honey
regular
bees.
doses of Pink Bladder's Miracle Tonic, too. I'm sure she'll be back to tearing the house down
This
again
is a
in
very
matter of
strange
days.
line of questioning,
Takes
Trevor.
after her father, that one.
Are you pleased with the election results?
Yeah, I'm glad that no-good high muck-a-muck Outwood was voted out. Maybe now they can finally get to work on that bridge to Gascon we've been promised for so long.
But won't Leroy's opposition to steam tech be bad for your husband's business?
Maybe, but Harvey's always managed to land on his feet. If it comes down to it, I'm sure he'll be able to find a new job in no time. I was never too keen on him selling those contraptions anyway. It'll be a relief to get them out of the house.
I don't have any more questions for you, Mrs. Presser.
Good.
A lot of characters in this game have really weird looking lips. Is it just me that's noticed that? Really? When did bees become a... What the fuck is happening?
Fordham, you You look even worse than the last time I saw you.
Ah, suck a
We can't
dick,
all
you
manage to
prick.
keep looking as good as you, Giles.
What brings you back?
Red boy.
I'm looking to speak with your prisoner.
Presser? I just got off the horn with Upton about him. Seems you're not the only one interested in finding the man.
Then I suppose it's lucky I got here first.
Suppose so.
What was he brought in for, exactly?
He's the suspected leader of a cooping gang. Makes me glad I didn't bother to vote. All those dirty politics are just a waste of time.
You are the
People wonder
dickhead
why
that
nothing
makes
in
the
Parliament
countries
ever
fall
changes.
apart. I assume that's what Ghost Boy just said. Fuck's sake.
Harvey Presser, I presume.
Who's asking?
Miles Fordham.
Me.
I'm a private investigator.
What do you want from me?
Just a few minutes of your time. You don't have anywhere to be, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask what you want, but I'm not answering anything until I see a lawyer.
Oh, you're a lovely looking chap, aren't you?
You recognize the man in this ferrotype?
Should I?
His name is Ronan Lespay. He was shot outside the Silent Raven on election night.
That's a real shame.
Are you saying you know nothing about the murder outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Not a thing. I've never even heard of the Silent Raven.
Is that right? Because I've spoken to at least 3 people who swore they saw you there that night.
Yeah, and you're not police, so that doesn't scare me. You can't do a thing about it.
This guy's starting to get on my nerves. There has to be a way to make him talk.
Yeah, probably
I
not
hear
got it
you
yet,
were
though.
arrested for leading a cooping gang. Is that right?
I don't have to tell you a thing. You're not a copper.
This is going well.
I had a little chat with your wife. You have a lovely family.
Mildred? How did you...
I may not be with the police anymore, but that doesn't mean I can't still get the information I need.
You didn't tell her about me being in jail, did you?
Don't worry. It was quite obvious your wife has no idea what you're involved in. As a man who values discretion, I thought it best not to shatter her illusions.
That's awfully decent of you.
Of course, I might change my mind, unless you start to cooperate.
I have to say, Miles, you've become a real natural at this tough cop role.
This is working.
All right,
I think.
fine. I'll talk. Just leave my family out of it.
Do you
Start
recognize
again.
the man in this ferrotype?
Yes, I do. That's Mr. Lespay.
And how is it you know him?
I was assigned to watch him and then pick him up on election night.
Assigned? By whom?
My employer. I'd really rather not name names, Mr. Fordham.
I don't care about your employer. What I care about is what you were doing with Mr. Lespay.
Well, it was a cooping scheme. He was one of the people I was told to pick up.
Tell me what you know about the murder outside the Silent Raven.
The most important thing I can tell you is that I didn't kill him.
Do you know who did?
Not a clue. I was inside the bar when I heard the gunshot. I went outside to see what had happened and found Lespay on the sidewalk.
And what happened next?
What do you think? I panicked. He was in my care. I wasn't expecting anyone to get killed.
I think Mr. Presser has a wildly different definition of the word care.
I went inside and gave the barmaid 10 crowns to keep her mouth shut. Clearly, that was money misspent. Then I went back home, told my wife I was going away on a business trip for a few days, just in case. Good thing I did, too. I might get out of this with her none the wiser.
What makes you so sure they'll let you out?
Me? I'm just a small fish, but I could talk and talk about whales. That's valuable information.
Quite the shrewd negotiator, this one. I think his skills have been wasted.
Is this your first time in jail?
Yeah, actually. Suppose you think I'm just some criminal scum, born for the gibbet? I'm not a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I just made some mistakes. You've met my family. I'd do anything for them. Anything.
I suppose no good deed goes unpunished.
You can say that again.
Yeah, bitch.
Tell me more about this cooping scheme.
I got paid to find men to vote for Atwood. Simple, really. Once I found a good mark, I followed him a bit, knocked him out, then took him to the coop, a little room I rented near the Raven. I had about 5 men on election night, including Lespay. Got them all liquored up and walked them over to the polls. Once each of them voted, we'd walk back over to the coop. I'd change their clothes, maybe give them a fake beard, and walk back for another vote. Did it for myself, too, so people would be less likely to notice. Kept it up for a few hours, until the murder.
That's all the questions I have for now.
Good. Leave me in peace.
Well, that is certainly some information, and we will find out what happens next time. But this is live, so we'll click exit, and I will hit be right back. Can I make it quiet before I do that? No, I can't. You just got to fucking deal with it. Anyway, I think I want to go here now. This sounds lovely. We've been here before, haven't we? In previous investigations. Because someone's scared of that.
Beg your pardon. Your name wouldn't happen to be Jimbo, would it?
Yeah? Who's asking?
Miles Fordham, private investigator.
Can a guy enjoy his shore leave without being harassed by the law? I've done nothing wrong.
I didn't say you had, and I'm most certainly not the law. I just want to ask you a few questions.
All right, fine.
Oh, this beer is really boring. Oh, I'm most deaf. Jesus.
You know Ronan the Spey?
I knew him, yeah.
Knew him?
He and I haven't spoken recently. In about a month, actually. Things didn't go so well last
Fuck,
time.
I am!
How do you mean?
Let's just say we didn't part on the best of terms. He made it very clear that he didn't want to speak to me again.
Were you aware that Ronan was murdered?
What?
We've gone to the Red Cat, or whatever it was
What
called.
happened?
He was shot outside a tavern in Chumley 4 nights ago.
Chumley? What was he doing there?
I was hoping perhaps you could tell me.
I honestly don't know. Ronan hardly went out, and he especially never crossed the river.
Why was that?
I think he was just too scared of the world to go out and see it for himself. He was happy enough reading about it in his books or collecting things I brought him back from my travels. Honestly, that's what I liked most about him. He was just an average, boring man. It was just the sort of balance I needed in my life.
That's pretty much the exact same reason I always enjoyed working with you, Miles.
Oh, cheers, man.
You and Ronan had a special relationship,
Why?
didn't you?
Mr. Fordham, we're in an underground
Why the
club.
fuck
You
does
don't
this...
have to tap dance around it.
fucking
Yes,
thing
Ronan
is
and I
hurt so
were a
much.
couple. At least up until last month.
What happened? If you don't
Still
mind
see
me asking.
resonance of tattoo
We
on
had
his
a
finger.
misunderstanding. Ronan
From a
thought I had been
previous
seeing someone
wedding-related
else.
mistake.
He was extremely jealous. I tried to explain that he had it all wrong, but he wouldn't hear me out. I was going to give him some time to cool off, but, well, that's not going to happen now, is it?
Don't
If it's
like
any
having a wedding ring
consolation,
off.
found
Like
a letter
at
you
all.
wrote him, which he still kept in his desk.
Damn. Thank you for telling me that.
Where does the name Jimbo come from?
It's just a nickname. My real name is James Bowcroft.
Right, you've
What is it
worked
you do?
far too much into
I'm a
that.
sailor. I thought you detective types were supposed to be extra observant.
What you
Shouldn't
do?
you be able
You
to
do for
tell
dinner.
me what my
Okay,
occupation
let me break it
was
down
just
for
by
you.
looking at my fingernails or
What you want to
something?
do is you want to get some
Sorry to
lamb
disappoint.
mince.
Accepting
Okay?
this is important in
Get
my
some of
line
that.
of work, but
Whack
I'm
in
also
just a
just
bunch of
man.
mint sauce,
I
just
think
so you
perhaps
can mince
Jimbo
up
has
your
been
mince.
reading too many
Form
of
it
those
into patties,
detective
make yourself some
stories.
lovely, lovely, fresh lamb burgers. Salt and pepper, any additional seasoning you fancy. You can do them in buns. I might recommend doing it like sliding it inside a big pitta, though. You know, that's good. You want to make yourself some feta slaw. So what I would recommend for that is you want some red onion, some red cabbage, and some mayonnaise. That's all you need, except for the feta, obviously. Feta is very easy to crumble. Just crumble that shit in. So slice up your onion nice and fine, so you got some nice slices. Same story with the red cabbage. Get that with some mayonnaise, mix it all up. Get the feta, crumble that in there with some salt and some crushed black pepper and some lemon juice to bring out the tartness. Whack that in there with your lamb burger. Banging. Do that with some wedges or something. Or, you know, a pizza with banana peppers.
Do you have any opinions about the recent election?
Not really. I'm usually way at sea, so I don't keep up with politics. The sea's got her own laws. Anyway, I can't vote, so it's really none of my concern.
But you're still affected by the decisions the Prime Minister makes.
Not very fair, is it, Mr. Fordham?
No, I suppose it isn't. Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Yes, that's my ship, the SS Priscilla.
I see. Did Ronan know about it?
Of course. He always used to ask me to bring him back some exotic souvenir.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Miles, have you ever noticed that this Jimbo fellow fits the description of the man loitering outside the taxidermy shop? The barmaid told us she saw someone matching that description at the Raven on election night. Not only that, Priscilla just so happens to be the name of the ship Jimbo works on.
Yeah, seems awful.
And the pistol used to
convenient,
murder
doesn't
Ronan has the initials JB etched on it. It could be a coincidence, but I think it's quite reasonable to consider him as a suspect.
it? But we all know that's not how this game works. Still haunted by the first case. Right, it's time to go to the cathedral, apparently. We're going to do that. Why are there penguins? They're penguins, look at them. They're quite clearly penguins. Candles it is.
Prayer candles? People think lighting one of these is going to solve their problems. If only it were that easy.
I
So
know.
what happens if they go out? Does that mean your prayer gets canceled?
Shh.
What? It's an important question.
I've lit in a few in my time for people that I want to get better from something or have died.
The more I think about it, the more I want to test my theory about
And
prayers
I
being
lit
canceled
one in
if the
my God
candles
Loves
go
Ugly
out.
Part 2 music video, if you recall. Talk to the candle. Ha ha! Ah, get fucked.
Well, that's all of them. Hope you made a wish.
I did. Oh, not everybody is. I grew up in that shit, though. But I'm older now, so I have more questions. Questions that can never be answered.
This angel looks like it would throw its
'Cause
lamp at you as
theology
soon as you turned your
and
back
belief,
on it.
So,
This looks like the nicer of the two angels. Now this is one intriguing chest. If only we could search it without arousing any suspicions.
my dad's a vicar, just so we're clear. That is certainly interesting, my wife. Meanwhile...
I beg your pardon. Are you Tom Puffin?
Oh, maybe they're Puffins.
I am. How may I help you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator.
You
I
can
wanted to
speak
ask
a
you a
bit
few
clearer.
questions.
Questions? Have I done something wrong?
No, Mr. Puffin.
You sound a
I
bit
simply
drunk,
believe
actually.
You may have some information that I need.
Very well, then.
Look at you! It's like a young man that's trying too hard.
What were you doing on election night, Mr. Puffin?
Election night? That was ages ago, wasn't it?
It was 4 nights ago, to be precise.
Oh, you have to understand. I have trouble recalling what I ate for breakfast this morning, let alone what happened 4 nights ago.
You're a drunk boy, aren't you?
Do try to remember, Mr. Puffin. It's quite important.
It's entirely possible.
I know I voted at my local polling place, the Silent Raven. And then... I'm not sure.
And then other things occurred.
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven?
Murder?
A man was shot. Did you see or hear anything?
I don't remember. I don't think so, no.
How long were you at the Raven that evening?
Not very long, I don't think. I went, voted, stayed for a drink, and then I left.
You recall what you did the rest of the evening?
Not specifically. I probably
Wanked
went
into the
home
chalice.
and went to bed, like I always do.
Do you recognize the man in this photo?
Is that...
Blasphemy and
no.
shit.
No, never mind.
What is it?
Well, for a moment, I thought it was someone else, but I was clearly mistaken.
So you don't recognize this person then?
Afraid not.
You know what,
Who
during
is it?
all my years...
His name is, or rather
and
was,
the access
Ronan
I've had to
Spey.
churches over all my years.
Is he
I've never
dead?
once had sex in one.
He is.
It's
I'm
only
trying to
just
find out
occurred
who
to me.
killed
Now that
Well,
now
I
that
hope
possibility
you find
is
your
gone from me.
man, Mr. Fordham.
Well, you know, short of going in during the service and bunking off somewhere secret. But, damn! Had sex against the wall of a church, but...
Are you in the habit of using opium, Mr. Puffin?
What? Well, why would you think that?
I met your friend Darius. He told me you share a pastime.
All right, yes.
Oh, he's that
I do
dude.
Enjoy a visit to the opium den from time to time.
From time to time? More like morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, he's
Have
not
you found
drunk,
the drug
he's
has
just
had any
fucked.
adverse effects?
Yeah, tell me
Memory
about
loss,
it.
for example.
Fucking opportunity
I admit
wasted
I'm
big
not
time.
quite as
I've just noticed that
quick
my
as I
phone
used to
screen that
be.
I've had for like
But
a
without it,
a
I'm in
month and a
constant
half has
pain.
got scratch
Is that
on it, and
right?
I'm very frustrated.
Fell
by
off
this.
a horse when I was 15.
That's what I get for not closing the
Ever
case when
since
putting it in
then,
my pocket
back's
sometimes.
Not been right. The
I
doctors
said it's a
haven't
problem
been
with it.
able
I'll
to
get it
help.
replaced for free. It'll be
Pop
alright.
is my only comfort. I wish there were another way.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure the touchscreen's kind
It
of
might be
fucked
worth
anyway,
seeking a
so...
more professional opinion about the effects of opium.
Do I need to be careful here? I did do a save. Was there a reason for saving? No, there wasn't. I'm just playing it
Does
safe.
the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Priscilla.
What up, Paul?
What does that have to do with anything?
Glad you've
Your
shown
name has
up.
come up in
You
my
can stay here for a while,
investigation.
can't you? 'Cause you've got no
Is it
work
someone you're
tomorrow, have
acquainted
you?
with?
Fucking cunt.
No, it isn't. I don't know anyone by that name.
He certainly seemed concerned about her, though.
Ugh. Paul here is looking forward very much so to the end of the month when he finally gets to play the video game Days Gone. See, Trev, I told you there was someone. It was you that was asking about that game, wasn't it? I think it was. He's been hype about this for 3 years, haven't you, Paul?
How did you become choir master of this church?
Oh, well, I studied music at the University of New Britannia. Once I completed my studies, I began writing symphonies in hopes of securing a patron, but I had no luck. So
yeah.
I decided to focus
Patrons.
on choral composition.
Oh, they come by.
I said a few pieces
Aren't
to
they,
the bishop,
Paul?
And he offered me the position.
And you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, sir, immensely. I'm able to continue composing songs for our choir, as well as teach music to our young members. I take my church duties very seriously.
What else do you do besides lead the choir?
Just a few things here and there, making sure the aisles and the pews are clean, tending to the prayer candles, and that sort of thing.
So, what do you think of the election results?
All right, the election. Who won?
Leroy. He beat Atwood by a significant margin.
What?
Oh,
What?
I suppose that's good.
You
I
just
think
say
I may
what
have
with no
voted for him,
context, dickhead.
Not sure.
It seems that all the prayer candles have gone out.
Have they? Last, I keep saying there's a draft, but nobody's done anything about it. Excuse me for a moment, won't you?
Opportunity knocks. This. It said.
Let's hope this chest hasn't got squeaky hinges.
Oh, I bet it does. Oh, we're fine. Dearest Ned, your last letter made me giggle with delight. I just cannot stop dreaming of the day we can finally make our dreams come true and live together as man and wife. I think it would be just the most splendid idea to get a puppy. I've already begun thinking of names. How does Woofy? I think that's a dot. Woofy sound, oh my love. Paul! We're in the bird. I say we're in the bird. Is that it? Are we good? We got something new? I think we... No, we did not. Don't carry on saying what, you fucking dickhead.
Do I have another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yes.
Puffin boy. Ned.
You know anyone named Ned?
Ned? Well, yes, I do. My nephew, Ned Bunkridge.
Your nephew?
Yes. Why do you ask?
No
Where
reason.
might I find Ned? I'd like to speak with him.
Is
Oh,
everything
yes,
all
because of
right? Ned hasn't gotten into any trouble, has he? I always tell him just because he's training his body.
This game
that's no
is
excuse
Lamplight
to
City.
take
It
fights.
is a point-and-click
No,
game.
he hasn't
It
gotten
is
into any
available
trouble.
on Steam
Oh,
currently
well, he lives in Lyon, 511 Parkside
for a
Terrace.
price.
Right. Thank you for the information. I'll let you resume your
I'm
practice.
doing the search so you don't have to, Paul.
Thank you.
It says that
Have
you're
a
currently playing
blessed
Football
day.
Manager, by the way, on Steam. No fucking shock there. Lamplight City is available on Steam currently for £11.39. I think I paid a little less than that on Kinguin, because why would I go on Steam when I will always search Kinguin first? And if Kinguin doesn't give me the answers I need, Google for Steam keys that are cheaper. Anyway, we're going to Ned's house now, I presume.
Right this way, sir. Mr. Bunkridge is in his gymnasium.
Well, this
Thank you,
looks
my good
fine.
man.
Well, you take a look at this place, and take a look at him. Maybe you should consider doing some training yourself, Miles. You aren't getting any younger after all.
Getting a theme of my saves here.
What in the ether is that supposed to be? Looks like some kind of medieval torture device. Then again, so does most of this newfangled exercise equipment.
Trev, Paul, in this gymnasium, can you tell me what is missing? I'll allow the reference.
They don't look that heavy to me. This seems to be where Ned keeps his extra equipment, and assorted other garbage.
First one to answer wins a round of applause, not a prize, because I can't give you anything.
Oh, look, maybe you can slip these on and go a couple of rounds with Ned. If that's his best right hook, he'll be a pushover. And after that expert knockout you delivered Officer Grant, he won't stand a chance. Some kind of martial art?
Doesn't look like any I've ever heard of.
I mean, mainly because they all look like they're standing still. Oh, you're so very close together. I will accept Sibian. I was actually looking for the electric camel, but yeah, I mean, that was where the joke lay, so.
Makes you wonder if old Nettie boy is at the end of his rope, too. Just when I thought I'd seen it all. What will they think of next?
Can we reprogram it so it punches the fuck out of him?
Excuse me, Mr. Bunkridge?
No, not you. Not you, Paul. You.
Hello.
You wouldn't stand a fucking chance.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. Your valet let me in.
Right, of course. What can I do for you?
Got him ripped the fuck.
For you, if you'd be so kind.
Yes, all right. I could use a bit of a rest anyway.
Are you familiar with a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never heard of him.
I have his portrait. Maybe you recognize him?
No. I've never seen this man before, but... Huh. How about that?
How about what?
The detail in this ferrotype is a bit fuzzy, but his facial features and hair, they vaguely resemble mine.
You know, now that he mentions it, it's true. Lespay does bear a passing resemblance to this fellow. Not quite as handsome, though.
Perhaps a case of mistaken identity, then. How's about suck a fat dick, Paul? You cunt.
So, you know nothing about the murder outside the Silent Raven 4 nights ago?
That's right. I don't even know what the Silent Raven is.
It's a bar in the Chum.
Well, that explains it. For one thing, I don't go to that part of town. A man like me sets foot in that den of ruffians, and I'll have every Tom, Dick, and Harry challenging me to a fight. Not that I couldn't take them, but I have better ways to train my body than beating thugs. Anyway, I don't drink. Dulls the mind and softens the body.
I see. Well, just thought I'd ask.
I'm sorry I can't help you, Mr. Fordham, but I hope you solve whatever it is you're investigating. You seem like a nice enough sort.
Tell me about your uncle.
You know Tom?
I've met him, yes. He's the one who told me where you lived.
Oh, right.
You and
well,
Dick's
my uncle
God.
is an interesting
Exactly, Paul.
Is that an interesting of the good or bad variety?
I really wish he would take better care of himself is all. I have the feeling that he's on some sort of drug, although he always denies it.
What gives you that impression?
Well, most of the time he acts completely normal. He goes to work, visits with me. Sometimes we go out together to the theater or a gallery. But some days his mood changes. He goes very solitary, won't leave his house, gets short with me. One time I went to visit him.
Paul, we all
I
know
heard
that
him
you're the
yelling
sailor
along
boy.
with what sounded like furniture being knocked about.
Sucking
It only
those
happened
dicks
once,
down the
but
docks.
it
It's your
worked.
favourite.
I hope Tom isn't in any sort of trouble.
Opium is one hell of a drug. It's a good thing you never got to that point with the soporific, or Adelaide would have turned you off much soon.
That's probably
Are you
something
all right,
that's only
Mr.
tickled
Fordham?
me.
Yes.
One hell
Yes,
of
I'm
a
fine.
drug.
What? Too
So
soon?
Rick James saying cocaine's one hell of a drug, and it's just very funny to me.
Could you give me Tom's address?
You don't have it? I thought you said you'd spoken with him.
I visited him at the cathedral.
But if he's there, why do you want his address?
I have reason to believe he may be somehow involved in a murder.
That's a serious accusation, Mr. Fordham. What proof do you have?
Nothing concrete just yet, which is why I'd like to investigate his home.
Well, you're not the police, so I'm not obligated to tell you. I'm sorry, but you'll need more than just a suspicion to convince me.
I'm going to leave that
On second
because
thought,
I've been
never mind.
suggested too. I'm Rick James, bitch. Paris. What, the Royal Parachute Division? You're still sucking dick though, aren't you, Paul?
About your uncle's address?
What about it? Why do you want it?
Your favourite.
On second thought, never mind. Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Yes, yes, it most certainly does. My lady love is named Priscilla Poundstone.
I see. What can you tell me about her?
Oh, she's a darling. I love her very much. Such a kind and gentle soul she is, too. Loves animals, especially dogs. We've been together for ages, and are due to be married soon.
When was the last time you saw her?
Saw her? Oh, no, Mr. Fordham. She doesn't live in New Britannia. She attends Miss Threadneedle's Academy for Young Ladies in Cormorant.
She lives in New Holland?
That's right. I've never actually met Priscilla face to face. We communicate exclusively through correspondence.
How did you two get involved?
Her father and mine were old military friends. They decided between them that their children would be engaged.
And you're both in agreement?
Yes. I admit at first I was a bit hesitant, but we share many of the same interests. The distance between us is not a detriment to our love.
I wonder how that will change once they actually begin cohabiting.
So you correspond regularly with Priscilla?
That's right. At least one letter a week. My uncle does me the kindness of acting as courier.
Do you think I might have a look at one of those letters?
What for? They're private correspondence.
I understand, but I feel this is important. Perhaps you could show me one that isn't too personal.
Yes, I suppose that would be all right. In fact, I think there's a recent one on the shelf there. That's not too private. But you won't need to take it, will you?
Not at all. I just want to have a look.
That's useful. That's really what I came for, I think.
You're very into physical conditioning, aren't you?
Oh, you noticed.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that a healthy body is just as important as a healthy mind, if not more so.
Well, he's definitely prioritizing the former.
It's important to keep fit, especially at a job like mine where I'm in a chair most of the day.
What job is that? I'm a clerk at the Bank of Vespuccia, but someday I hope to leave and teach others about the health benefits of regular exercise. Perhaps even open up my own gymnasium.
These guys, but with
people
hair.
are gonna go for that. Good luck to him.
How do you feel about the election outcome? I'm disappointed. Atwood may not have been the greatest PM, but he was pro-steam tech. Sure, the Lygia incident was a tragedy, but people are too quick to judge. Steam technology is a boon to mankind. It's already enriched my life considerably. It's a shame that progress is going to be held back because of one isolated occurrence. I agree.
Standard.
Technological advancement doesn't come cheap, but it shouldn't be abandoned entirely.
Very strange noise occurring outside. That's someone dragging a wheelie bin. A great distance, but yet somehow still localized. It's not bin day.
Thanks for your time.
Not a problem.
Right, Shelfie boy. My dearest Ned, I was so happy to receive your last letter. Things are going well here. I'm due to begin my next course within the week. How are things with you? Did you manage to set up the gymnasium where you were talking there? Did you manage to set up that gymnasium you were talking about? You'll have to send me a ferrotype of your new physique.
Wait just a minute. Something's
She's
off.
talking about fucking
The
old school
handwriting in this
dick
letter
pics.
is different to the one we found before. There's
Yes.
something strange going on with this Priscilla.
She's a
Could I
He's
ask
getting
you a few more
catfished,
questions,
but
Mr.
way
Buckridge?
back in the day.
All right, but try not to take too long. Don't want to drop my heart rate too much.
About your uncle's address?
What about it? Why do you want it?
I think there's something going on between him and Priscilla.
Something going on? What do you mean?
I found a letter addressed to you from her at the cathedral, and the handwriting is different to the letter you have here.
He has one of her letters? Why would he?
I'm not sure, which is why I'd like to search his home and find out more.
If he's going behind my back, I swear I'll...
Calm yourself, Mr. Bunkridge. If I find anything, you'll be the first to know.
All right. Tom lives at 117 Gimlet Terrace in Worcester.
Hey, practically neighbors.
Here, I've got a spare key. If you find anything about him and Priscilla, you'll tell me, won't you?
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Bunkridge. Thanks for your time.
Not a problem.
The Dustman. My old man's a dustman. He wears a dustman's hat. He wears core-blimey trousers. And he lives in a council flat. Fucking insanity. That's pretty funny. I'll explain to the group upon your return. Right. What am I doing? New place. Puff puff.
Nice place. Tidy. Nothing incriminating that I can see.
People rarely leave anything incriminating out in the open. It's time to have a look around.
We're good at that.
The look in her eye tells me she's probably hiding something.
Sneaky bitch.
Music books. Clearly Puffin has never touched them.
Good.
A statue of Eros, I believe? God of love or lust or something. Man babies in diapers never did much for me.
This fuckery, though.
That's odd. There are some scratches on the floor next to that statue.
That's a trigger. I guarantee it. I can click it now. I'm not going to. I want to look around more first.
Puffin's daily planner. The man leads an even more boring life than you. Who knew that was even possible?
No, lad. No, lad.
Huh.
You'll know when I'm cheating, so I'll say, fuck it, I'm lost, I'm gonna cheat. As any one of my viewers will tell you.
It's empty.
Puffin's music room is a bit lacking in comparison to the one in the painting. So Puffin plays at home too? His poor neighbors.
Can we play? No, can't clicky boy.
No point wasting time searching Puffin's bedroom. I have a feeling that if there's something to find, it's here in the sitting room.
Right, we better click that then.
How about that? Looks like we found Singing Tom's buried treasure.
And it is. Are we going to go and sit at the desk?
Let's just see what we have here.
Dearest Priscilla, I have completed all my plans and will soon come visit you in Cormorant. Please remember that life in New Breton is hard, and so I may look a bit more advanced in years than you might expect. Ned, oh my days. I feel that he's pretending to be his nephew. Or at least because he's the correspondent between his nephew and this chick. So he's been reading about the love and how he wants to show up there to fuck her himself, which is just horrific. But, I mean, you can't knock the man's hustle, right?
Interesting stuff, but what about the box itself? It seems Puffin's gun has gone missing. He should really take better care of his things.
JB!
Jenkins and Bowen. The name shares the initials that were on the murder weapon. That's quite a coincidence, wouldn't you say?
I would if I believed in coincidences.
See, again, that's a fucking case of mistaken identity. He went to kill that motherfucker. He shot the wrong guy. Oh, he's so fucked. He's so fucked, you bad motherfucker. Yeah, stuff. Okay. Time to visit the 5-0. Did I take the box with me? Do I have the box? Because I gave him the gun, I think.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Yes?
Good.
Edwards, you know much about the effects of opium?
Quite a great deal, unfortunately. It's all the rage these days. Most people use it to calm the nerves or relieve pain, but it's highly addictive and has numerous adverse effects.
Such as?
It depends, really. Most common are sweating, nausea, memory loss, or blurred vision. But more serious cases can lead to hallucination, violent mood swings, coma, or even death. I just had a case in here a few weeks ago who died from an opium overdose. It wasn't pretty.
Doesn't sound like it. Thanks for the information, Edwards.
Anytime.
I'll be going now,
Clue
Edwards.
boy.
Take care, Fordham.
And
Things are
now,
starting to fall into place here, Miles. Between the letters, the missing gun, and what Edwards told us about the effects of opium, I think we have enough evidence to consider Puffin a suspect.
well, I mean, I said that. We should go somewhere we've not been for a long time. The Bakey Boy. 4. Good spelling. Tis her brother. What he's done to Dad.
Have you got time for a few more questions, Mrs. Morgan?
Yes, of course.
Are you familiar with someone who goes by the name Jimbo?
No, I don't think so. Who is that?
A friend of Ronan's.
No, as I told you, I didn't know Ronan to have any friends. I especially don't recall him mentioning anyone called Jimbo.
You wouldn't, it was his gay lover.
Did Ronan know anyone named Priscilla?
Priscilla? No, I never heard that name before. Who is she?
Just a name that's come up in my investigation.
I wonder if Ronan had finally met a young woman.
Oh, boy. Now you've done it.
I've completed my investigation of your brother's murder, Mrs. Morgan.
You have? Oh, that's such a relief to hear. Who killed him?
Puff Boy!
It was Tom Puffin, choir
the other
master
guy.
at St. Dennis Cathedral.
What? But why would a member of the church do something like that?
Well,
Puffin is in love with his nephew Ned's fiancée, Priscilla. He's even gone so far as to intercept their letters and write to each of them under false pretenses. Mr. Puffin is also an avid opium user and is prone to fits of rage as well as hallucinations. The evening of the murder, Puffin was at the Silent Raven, and in his opium-induced fog, mistook your brother for Ned. He had his pistol on him, and his rage and jealousy got the better of him. Poor Ronan was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And what about the clothes he was wearing? Or why he was in Chumley in the first place?
I'm afraid your brother fell victim to a cooping gang. They dragged him to Chumley and forced him to vote multiple times. He was wearing someone else's clothes as part of a disguise.
My poor brother. So what happens now?
Now, I'll inform Miss Upton of my findings, and she'll send an officer along to arrest Puffin. From there, justice will be served accordingly.
I see. Thank you for your help, Mr. Fordham.
Tom Puffin?
Yes, may I help you, officer?
You're under arrest for the murder of Ronan Lespay.
What? Oh, God. So it wasn't a dream.
Come along, sir. We need to question you at the station.
You know, Miles,
Learning
you've been coming in
nothing,
here a lot
getting
lately.
fucked up
but
again.
You've never looked quite this glum. What's going on?
I've bungled things pretty badly at home. Been staying with a friend the past couple of weeks.
I see. What happened?
I come in here every night.
Haven't been honest with my wife. Coming here and drowning my sorrows hasn't really helped, oddly enough. And yet, it's all I can do to keep from going crazy.
You know, Miles, I've seen and heard a lot of things over the years. Some of the stories would turn your hair white. But through it all, I've come to learn one thing. It's usually not too late to make things better, but only if you let yourself try.
Thank you for the advice, Patrick.
All I can
Is that
do is
picture
give it,
different?
Miles. Whether you choose to take it or
Or am I
not
going
is
strange
entirely
because
up to
I'm
you.
paying attention to this
Now,
bizarre
would you
thing?
like another gin?
No, thank you. This time I really do need to be on my way. I should go and see how my wife is doing.
Take the
I
risk.
see. Well, have a good night, Miles. And good luck to you.
Who in the ether?
A lot of ether, even now.
Miles? This is a surprise.
Hello, Addie. It's wonderful to see you. May I please come in?
I suppose so. Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
I've given it a lot of thought.
Do it.
And I think it's time I finally told you the truth.
Miles, what are you doing? You know this is a terrible idea.
The truth?
About why I've been acting the way I have been since Bill died.
Well, go on. I'm listening.
Don't do it, Miles. You know it's a one-way ticket to Riverview if you do.
I've been hearing Bill's voice ever since he died.
See if I fuck this up.
Fordham, what is wrong with you?
His voice?
I can't
I think I'm
believe
alright.
this! You've just destroyed your life! I hope you realize that!
Yes, in my head, at all hours. That's why I was taking the soporific. It was the only way to keep him quiet. Or so I thought. Turns out that alcohol has the same effect.
What does he say to you?
The type of things he'd say when he was alive. Snarky comments, inappropriate jokes. Mainly he nags me to find the flower shop burglar. He thinks doing that will let him find peace and move on.
I see.
I told you you'd think I was crazy.
Don't be ridiculous, Miles. It's nothing like that. It's just, I wish you had told me sooner is all.
I know, but I was afraid.
Well, I'm glad you finally trusted me. You know, you could have all along.
So, you're all right with it?
It is quite a lot
Welcome
to
back,
take
Trev.
in. I think I'll need some time to mull it over. But what matters now is that we can work through this together.
I understand. Well, I should probably go. It was lovely to see you again, Addie.
Lovely to see you too, Miles.
Perhaps I'll
she-
stop by again next week.
Or sooner, if you'd like.
I could just
Sure.
stay. It's
Like the men in
my
white
house.
coats aren't gonna have you taken away by then.
Right. I'll see myself out then.
Good night, Miles.
Sorry, so many conversations going on all at once. Cutscenes though, they're good.
Fordham, wake up.
Huh? He just leapt over the side. I don't... Oh, Upton. What's going on?
Goodness, Fordham. You look terrible. Is everything all right?
Nothing's
Just
ever
had some
alright.
trouble sleeping. More than usual.
Well, I hope you've rested enough, because I've got something very important to show you.
Oh, wonderful. If we're sharing information now, are you gonna tell Upton about me as well?
What is it?
There's been a murder.
A murder! There's been a murder!
I assume this one is special somehow, or you wouldn't be bringing it to me.
I thought that great detectives never assumed.
There are exceptions to every rule.
Anyway, you're right. The victim in question is a member of Parliament, a man named Percival McDonough, to be precise. But this is the real corker. The murder is clearly the work of the Justice Killer.
The Justice Killer. Is that the mass murderer I've been hearing about?
Yeah,
The very same.
Why Justice Killer, though?
It's part of his modus operandi. He kills his victims with a single gunshot to the head, then writes the word justice somewhere in the room with the victim's blood.
Talk about melodramatic.
The police are stumped. This is the killer's 5th victim, and there isn't a single lead.
So you want me to investigate?
Not just yet. First, I need you to look at these sketches.
You took crime scene sketches from the department?
Of course not. I made copies with the station's Pharaoh duplicator. These killings need to
Photocopier.
stop, and I believe you can succeed where the department has so far failed.
Okay.
So, what am I looking for?
You're relying on a lot. I
The
mean,
police
this
went over
character's a
each crime
drunk
scene
and
with a
so am I.
fine-tooth comb and turned up practically no useful physical evidence. I want a second opinion from you. If you can find some sort of link between them, it might be possible to track this monster down.
It's a shot in the dark. I can't guarantee I'll find anything the police didn't see, but it's worth a look.
What in the fuck?
Here are the 4 sketches. Have a look at them and see if you notice anything that might help us find this maniac.
Okay. Picture boy? Boo. Okay. Justice, dead fella. Clicky stuff.
Whoever drew this was
There's
a
flower.
hack. That looks more like a piece of toast than a flower.
That is the weirdest piece of toast I've ever seen. I've seen Paul burn toast on the regular.
What's the point? It's not like you're actually going to be able to investigate this case. If only you hadn't told Adelaide about me, I might share my thoughts with you. As it is, you're on your own.
Great.
Oh, were you hoping for some witty insight? Shame, because you're not getting any. I'm sure this is terribly relevant, but I've got nothing to say about it.
Well, this is frustrating.
I don't feel like looking at dead bodies right now. Is there something more exciting we could be doing?
You missed us solving the case, and it was a bad man who... It was a case of mistaken identity, as I theorized. He was in love with someone else's missus, basically.
Yeah, he's dead. I'm really not in the mood to be analyzing crime scene sketches.
It's the same plant in every picture.
Wait, what's that? I see an important clue.
What a
Maybe you
dick.
should write crazy over your bed. Boring, just like everything else in this sketch.
Interesting.
Oh,
we
what?
nailed
You
it,
actually
though.
found something without my help? I'm shocked.
Lady boy! Oh no! We're not in Thailand, are we?
Upton?
What is it, Fordham?
About those crime scene sketches.
Yes?
I think I found a connection.
I knew you would. What is it?
There's a single flower at each crime scene. They look deliberately placed.
There is? Let me have a look. You're right. One lily at each scene.
Wait,
Oh, the
what did you say?
These flowers, they're lilies. Easter lilies, I think.
I don't believe it.
Upton, this is incredible. This is the lead I've been searching for.
What? You mean for another case?
The flower shop burglar. He was stealing Easter lilies. And I distinctly remember him saying something about his desire to uphold justice. At the time, I thought it was just the rambling of a lunatic, but now it seems so obvious.
So the flower shop burglar is the justice killer?
It seems too much of a coincidence otherwise.
Well, then that's wonderful. You can kill two birds with one stone.
Fucking
Excellent
A,
work,
right.
Fordham. I knew you could do it.
Can't wait for this case, motherfucker. Oh, God. What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow as well. Fantastic. That means... that when I invariably don't finish this tonight, I will finish it tomorrow.
What exactly are the details regarding this justice killer?
The killings
So
began a
bored of the
few
taste of
months
beer.
ago,
I
and
need
so
something
far
that's
he's claimed
not
5
this beer.
victims. The department wanted to keep this information out of the public eye to prevent
It's funny,
a
I could drink
The
that
word has
fucking
gotten out.
Morrison shit.
On the bright
for
side,
fucking
it makes
ages,
your
but
involvement in the
Stella's
case
just
much
not
less
that
suspicious.
nice. It's not.
What can you tell me about the previous victims?
I guess
Four
it's
men
maybe
from
the
Chumley,
monotony
Hannibal
of the boring
Kirkland,
beer.
Reggie Willingham, Ennis Bowditch, and Burley Cause. No known connection between any of them aside from the borough they lived in. I have copies of the police reports from each of the crime scenes. Go ahead and take them.
Thank you, Upton. What are the details regarding the killer's latest victim?
As I mentioned, the victim is Percival McDonough, a member of Parliament. He was found this morning by his secretary in his office. I expect the official investigation is still underway.
So the killer managed to get into the Houses of Parliament. No easy feat.
You can say that again. It's the killer's first high-profile victim. It means he's getting bolder.
I suppose I'll have to drop by and see for myself.
I'm getting a lot of drops here.
Everything all right with you?
Oh, I'm getting by. I expect things to go back to normal once
No,
this killer
never.
is caught.
What the fuck is
I
that?
haven't worn out my welcome here yet, have I?
No, you're still tolerable. But when was the last time you washed your hair?
You're starting to sound like Adelaide. I should get back to it.
Not a bad idea.
Right. I think I have enough information to get started. I think I'll begin with...
Odd. I was
Smells.
expecting company. Chief Snelling?
Uh-oh.
Upton, we need to talk. Fordham, I should have guessed I'd find
Tess!
you here.
Hi, Tess! Everyone's saying hi, Tess, and I'm just completely oblivious.
Ah, Chief Snelling. What a pleasant surprise.
I'm equally pleased to see you.
Well, I mean,
Fordham,
you could have asked
having
nicer.
you here does save me a bit of trouble.
Trouble?
Those are some rather
kind of
interesting decorations.
in-game
Would either of you
focus.
care to explain how they got here?
And once again, the jig is up. I hope you can talk your way out of this one, too.
Very good at Talkie Boy. None of these resemble the truth.
I brought them here, after I made duplicates and took them from the police department.
Nice try, Fordham, but I know for a fact that isn't true. The Pharaoh Duplicator makes a report of every employee.
No, this game goes on almost as long as Spyro the fucking Dragon.
A rather useful feature for instances such as these. Wouldn't you agree?
These gadgets are going to be the undoing of us all.
In any case, I did some digging and discovered some intriguing information. Upton, why have you been passing on classified police information to Mr. Fordham?
Because he's the best detective you ever had on the force, and you know it.
Is that right? Personally, I don't consider getting your partner killed the mark of a great detective. But what's done is done. Constance Upton, your employment with the New Britannia Police Department is hereby terminated.
But
I should add that it's only because of your 25 years of dedicated service that I'm not pressing charges against you. But as for you, Fordham, I have enough evidence to place you under arrest for obstruction of justice and interfering with police investigations.
I
Do you have
distinctly
anything to
remember
say
Spyro
in
because
your
I'm pretty
defense
sure it was Spyro that
before I
made
take you in for questioning?
all of us here on this stream, except for you, Paul. Fuck you, Paul. Not that Paul, the one I work with. All like sort of come together because that's when all the streaming really kicked off.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I know who the Justice Killer is.
Fordham, if this is your idea of a diversion...
It's true. I found a link in the sketches of the crime scenes.
All right, let's hear it then. What do you think you found?
I'll tell you if you promise to let me take the case.
Fucking parents.
Out of the question, Fordham. This is a police matter.
And the police haven't made progress in months. Fordham figured it out in a matter of minutes. Admit it, Snelling. Fordham is your best shot at finding the killer. Are you gonna let your personal differences put the people
No
of
one
this
said
city
he wanted
in
to play it as a
danger?
live stream. This is your doing,
I'll
Trevor.
let you continue to operate as an assistant in this case, if you have actually found something of value.
Oh wait, no, he did.
What
He
is
did
this
say.
link?
He
He did
leaves
say.
a single Easter lily at each
I
crime scene.
apologise,
The same
Trevor.
type of
He did
flowers
say
the
that.
burglar in the chum was stealing.
Fucking hell.
I see. A tenuous link, but plausible. I'll give you until tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't come up with anything, I'm throwing you in jail.
Sounds fair to me.
And don't get any clever ideas about leaving town either.
Now, would I do something like
Good
that?
typing.
Fordham, it seems there's no telling what
Trevor
you might
has
do.
crashed.
I'm probably a
404
fool for
error.
not clapping you in irons right here and now. When you have something to report, come find me in my office. Don't make me regret this.
Well, that went better than I expected.
Except you're still fired. I didn't have a chance to get him to change his mind.
We'll worry about that after you catch the killer. In the meantime, I could use a drink. I'll see you later, Fordham.
Well, better get to work then. Clock is ticking.
Clock boy. Oh, God. Aha! Hannibal. Gunshot wound to the head. Police found Kirtland in his home after his foreman reported Kirtland's absence from work. From the justice written in blood, nothing unusual was found at the crime scene, and no witnesses came forward investigating into Kirtland's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Reggie. Gunshot wound to the head. Police found Williams in his home after a missing person report was found by his employer. Crime scene was inspected, but aside from the word justice written on the wall in blood, nothing unusual was found. No witnesses came forward. Investigation into Williams' personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest in it. Single shot police found Barrows in his home after his employer got the police. Crime scene showed signs of modus operandi or the so-called justice killer, but no other leads or clues were found. No witnesses came forward. Investigation questioned. Burley cause. That's an interesting name. Single gunshot wound to the head. Who knew? Officer Douglas Parsons discovered cause in his home after a report of a gunshot was made by neighbour Ethel. Parsons surveyed the scene, justice, blood, but other than that, nothing. Cause, nothing. Standard. Okay, many to go on, but first and foremost, back to do our usual, just in case. Ha! Hilarious. That was us. That's still funny. Not reading any of this. One day, maybe. Cooping, yes, we covered that. Mass murder. Right, so we're basically on all of this, which is just wonderful news. It did start my solo streams, and that's what brought us all together. What? Stone Cold Steve Austin there. What? The fucking Houses of Parliament, please. For fuck's sake.
What brings you to this delightful spectacle?
Hello, Edwards. I'm investigating the Justice Killer. I believe I've got a very promising lead.
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes for my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
Cheeky save, though. Many saves, we're learning. No. No! What is with the bees? Why are you suddenly so interested in the bees? The bees! Ah, the bees! Ah! Nicolas Cage and shit.
Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something scandalous in here. These appear to be books on cryptography. I suppose everyone needs a hobby.
Yeah, no doubt. About these books.
Biographies and autobiographies.
Yep.
History books and political theory.
Yep, Borden.
History books and... These appear to be books on cryptography.
Okay, so that's the interesting one, because that's going to come up later, clearly.
No signs of forced entry that I can see. The murderer didn't come in through this window. Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own office. Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with.
I was X? Well, X what? Excommunicado? What? Are you John Wick now? Anything new I want to try? Yeah, having days off would be fucking great.
Nothing has been written in.
Good. Body boy.
Percival McDonough, being a good politician. Odd. The page for this month has been torn out. Do you suppose Edwards might know anything about that?
Relevant.
Got a moment, Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Oh, he wants to do some fucking Kirby shit that you and Trev started playing the other day.
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
Edwards.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit. Anyway, there was also the word justice written in blood.
Enjoy work,
as you can
Tess.
see on the
It was
floor.
lovely to see you,
Is that all?
even at a brief
What more
moment.
do you need? All the pieces are in place. This is the work of the justice killer.
What did your examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's
That
blank,
sounds
so the
relevant.
police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Well, of course
Never
I
assume,
am.
Edwards. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Be my guest, be my guest.
Did the police manage to learn anything during their investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the grieving
what?
widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got
No,
yours.
what? No! Buzzy dick. That's a terrible idea.
Did you find an
The
Easter
stinging.
lily anywhere?
Oh no.
An Easter lily?
Yes.
I've never been stung by a bee or a wasp or anything like that, and I
that
like to
right?
keep it that
I
way.
never noticed.
That's why I'm
Neither
terrified
did
of
anyone
anymore.
else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime
Especially
fit
around the
into
dick.
all of this?
Awful
Still
idea.
trying to figure that out. But I think it might be important to understanding his motive.
Be my girl.
Well, be sure to
Fuck
let me know
off.
if you do figure it out.
Why is this a
The
thing?
process of
Why are
killing
bees
is
now
just
a thing?
Curious thing.
I've got a fucking bee tattooed on me as well. Look at this shit. Look. What a bee. There's a bee. For Manchester. Manchester bees. Fuck's sake.
What's your take on this whole justice killer situation?
It's giving me a lot of extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Oh, prequel.
Ah, yes. Gascon Ghoul. Now there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that
Krusty's got the same
psychology stuff,
tattoo.
you're better off talking
Except
to
his
someone
is
like
here.
Snell.
His first and only tattoo. The exact same one as I.
Does it feel good to be out of the office?
As long as I have the chance to examine a body and learn something in the process.
There's a
I don't care
fucking
where
video
I am.
about that on the channel
Though
as
I
well,
do
to be
admit a
honest.
preference to working in my own environment. Fieldwork can be a bit uncertain.
I feel like taking a
There's
break.
so much
Do you want
more
to watch that?
potential for contamination, especially with those clumsy officers trouncing about, groping everything. Present company excluded, of course.
I think it might be a GBTV, but don't fucking quote me on that. But I'm pretty damn sure it's called The Bears and the Bees.
Edwards, did you notice McDonough's desk calendar?
I did. This month has been torn out. I asked the officers investigating the scene, and they had no idea what happened to it.
So it wasn't found in this room?
Was it?
That's right.
Was the
My
Aliens
theory
the
is that the
TV show
killer
or a
took
film? Remind
Which
me.
means there was
I know you've
probably
already
something
said, but
incriminating written on it.
trying to focus on so
If
many
only there was
things.
some way of knowing what it was.
If it's a film, you've got more
Have you
chance.
forgotten
I'll
the
leave it
oldest
at
trick
that.
in the book? Just find a pencil and you'll have that information in no time.
Edwards, do you have a pencil I might borrow?
Of course. Take this one.
Thank you.
Bees don't help.
That's all for now, Edwards.
Good luck with your investigation.
Oh, God. Okay, right. I know what to do. I know what to do.
A classic trick. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, sketchy boy. Oh, well, there's some shit. There's some more shit. It's just these 2 dates.
Intriguing. We'll need to find out who this Ruby is. Aha! McDonough met with this person the night of the murder. I'll bet 500 crowns it's a false name. but at least it's something.
There's a song by a rapper slash singer that I really like. She's called Dessa, and she has a song called Beekeeper. Funnily enough, not one of my favourites. God damn it, Tess, I told you. It was a fucking Kirby game, one that you and Trev just started playing like Monday night. Mother fucking bees. Right. Actually gonna quit the game. We'll come back to the game after, but for now, I must find what I was talking about. Well, why indeed all the bee comments? I certainly don't fucking understand. Right. This video just starts in the best way possible with bacon. However, we need to take a brief interim. Tess, enjoy your moment while it lasts. Try Tess. Probably missed that. Well, apparently you couldn't hear me anyway. No sound again. Okay, anyway, before we go into this, you should know the following. The guy that you're going to see doing stuff to me and Krusty, I know, right? He did this. He did this. He did this, which says God loves ugly. There's a chain. God loves ugly. And he did this. I'm not going to spin around for you. I'll just tell you what it says. And it says, me leave, never would you, you show, could I, if. That's my old friend Craig. Oh, the fucking trailer. I'll get to it in my own time. Just give me a fucking DM. Alright, we'll get to it. Promise. You want something new and interesting? I'm going to give you that. Well, I say new and interesting. It's a couple of years old, but you've missed it. Let's do it. Oh, I'm so hungry.
So, we've just eaten bacon. And now I'm going to talk to you briefly about the Industrial Revolution. Specifically, Manchester's involvement. Around, I think it was 1842. Got a coat of arms as a result featuring 7 busy worker bees, just like the people of Manchester during said Industrial Revolution. Those bees continue to show up in various bits and pieces. Find mosaics on the town hall, I believe, of Manchester, on the floor, covered in the bees. It's at the university coat of arms. It's on some other bits as well. Why am I talking about the bees? Well, a few days ago, there was a really bad thing that happened. An Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, which you will have all heard about, involving the deaths of 22 people, including kids. Not the way forward. That is actually fucking awful. Now, as a result, there's been a lot of fundraising and whatnot. Indeed, indeed. One of these things is a bunch of tattooists in Manchester have done a tattoo appeal whereby they are putting the Manchester Bee on people, with all the money going to like the families of the people affected by this and charities and whatnot. So this is extended over into Liverpool, and I live on the Wirral, which is close to the Liverpool, a lot closer than it is to Manchester. So here at K-Town.
Hello.
And we are off. So I can get a B. Will I get a B? I will get a B. Krusty get a B. This is very up and down. Will Krusty get a B?
I think I probably will.
Forgotten about that.
I was just saying to Jay before, it's a tattoo that I've always wanted for quite a number of years now. I've not got any tattoos yet, so I think I should definitely get one because, like I said, it's something that I've always wanted, and it's for a good cause this time. So,
fun fact: we just drove over a crossroads, and down the way that you just saw is where I live now.
We're gonna go do that.
Don't do it. You'll regret it.
As an aside, this big road that we need to go down is shut.
Actually, she hasn't
because
gone around.
motherfuckers are running down it. Stop it! What are you doing? So we're going all over the shitty place.
Confusing the fucking nation.
It is the entire
Everybody's
nation.
running around in chaos to close Dale Street. Oh, let's put on our fucking spandex and run around like morons.
Yeah, that one.
At this point, we've gone through a dirty great tunnel under the River Mersey from the Wirral probably around to
Basically,
Liverpool.
constant stream of traffic going down to the end, realising it's a dead end and turning around. But nobody's telling the people that are coming in because they might live there. There's no point going, oh, don't go down there, you can't get down, Becky.
No matter how much we try and plan to get around these fuckers, they continue to get in the way. It's the Liverpool Marathon today, apparently. No one fucking warned us. So
basically, we're on this street going up and down. The marathon's running parallel on this street, and we want to be on this street. And it's like, nope, still runners. Try this one. Nope, still runners. Still fucking runners.
yeah, and there's a traffic problem. Not having a good time.
We are condensed like milk.
We got through that first bit, and now this.
More runners.
Now, I'm willing to bet that they are now going to
Why
block
would I
off the
run
next road we
anywhere,
want to
for
go
fuck's
down.
sake?
Because it certainly looks that way.
They really shouldn't. They've got a chat. They've got 2 lanes.
Our most
there.
famous building is directly to the right of us at this
down one of
point.
these roads. The ones that they're currently running.
The Liver building
against.
with the Liver birds.
Right. We
Yo,
want to
this
take a
rapper
left
that's
here.
on the stereo right now,
I
I'm
don't
doing a
think
song
that's
with him. Confirmed.
You know what we could do with?
What's that?
You getting on your phone and finding the map for the route.
Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you.
It's not a bad idea. We've given up.
And they love
We
it.
can't get
So
past
do you.
these motherfuckers. Into the car park.
Fine again.
Okay, we are parked. We did not get the juice out the car.
Do you want the juice?
I don't care for the juice. I'll get some water. Oh, you care for the juice. Do you want the juice? Some juice when we get back to the car. Buy a bottle of water. Very refreshing. So we're in Liverpool 1 in the car park, and we're going to
classic Krusty.
Not be in that in a minute because we're going to the shop, the tattoo shop. We're going to the Devil's Club tattoo studio.
I'm going to stop coughing at some point.
He's gonna do that. He's never gonna do that. He coughs all the time. This.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's how old this is. I've still got long hair.
Yeah, we're going to go to Devil's Club Tattoo Studio, which was opened a couple of years ago by my mate Craig, who's done many of the inks on me in the past.
The inks I just showed you.
Except he's not working today, so he won't be inking me any further.
Or so we say.
More on this as and when. Successfully navigated the ghost streets of Liverpool this Sunday morning and found the Devil's Club tattoo. So that's good. But because of the amount of time we've been, probably in quite a queue now. Boo queue. Right. I'll show you what it's actually like in there in a minute. I'm going to just whip the camera out immediately. We filled in our forms. I'm number 20. K-Town here. It's number 21. His first ever tattoo. Oh, very exciting. Fun in there. They're waiting on another artist coming in, so who knows? Maybe it will be Craig. That'd be nice. Hello, Craig. Been a while. Been a long time actually. Looking out. Anyway, bees. Right. So Krusty reckons that they're up to like number 7. And I think we've established I'm 20 and he's 21.
Every day. Not every day, but sometimes.
It is Craig. There he is. Just have a look around. It's fun in here, isn't it? Yeah.
Don't want to GoPro too much in there. So many people. Felt a bit weird.
I've noticed. I don't think I've actually had a tattoo since before the last time I saw you at that convention.
Craig used to be married to another friend of mine. That's when he tattooed the chest piece on me. And the leg piece. And probably the arm piece as well during that whole time.
Get your tits out, Krusty.
Yeah, it was by choice. It was by choice.
That's what it is, yeah.
I was going.
The anticipation of him getting his back
increasingly, my forehead was getting larger. It had to go at some point. Big bit of the back there.
Provided him with a bacon sandwich this morning. Nah. Trust me, it was all right.
Been away for about half an hour.
Now, music's going to get real horrible in a second because copyright.
Let's get the fucking t-shirt off.
But I'm pretty sure we got copyright for something else anyway, so copyright's going to hit this stream as well because of this. It's a shame that you can't hear anything anyone's saying because the music is so intense. If you watch some Let's Plays of us in the 5th Age, where it's dead on, you'll see Krusty's tattoo with like the shaved patch coming like growing back through. One day, when I have the money, this man is going to do me a full leg sleeve. and that is going to require many thousands of pounds. So we need to do better with YouTube and whatnot. And those Patreons, get them coming in, because I need that Bioshock leg sleeve. Imagine how good I'll look in shorts. Krusty approaching it like a haircut, yeah, that's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure it still picks up the fucking Mambo number 5 song. No, actually, no, it didn't. It picked up something else. We got completely banned because of Mambo number 5. That's why I did this. The opposite. Threw in these drums and messed the compression to make it really fucking peaky as fuck. Yeah, this song was also a problem, clearly. Cleansing Krusty's nasty. Incredible wealth of entertainment that you just carry on missing. Always here for the live streams, but all this glorious shit is right there on the channel for you. Of course. Right, so we're about a minute out from a tattoo. Forget which number mine is, for I have many. Number 1 for Krusty though.
Oh, wow.
How was the experience for you?
It was okay. No real nerves or apprehension, which is unusual for me. Sensation, okay. It's like having your skin kind of picked by a needle, and you think, oh, my skin's gonna tear, but then it doesn't tear. It's like that, pick. Everybody out there that's had a tattoo is like, what the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? Well, that's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like razors or anything, or cutting. Picking. Not particularly unpleasant. Not particularly pleasant either.
We've got to follow these cons now.
I was sat there thinking, like, this is like, what did he do it in, like 7 minutes?
Yeah, it wasn't a long time.
Ridiculously fast. I mean, I was laying there thinking, doing this for 3 hours? Don't know about that.
They're the ones where you start going into fucking shock.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So,
especially for me, because I sweat quite a lot.
We're about to walk into the marathon.
I sweat quite
Not do that.
So there would come a point where, maybe past the 30-minute mark, where I just can slide straight off the bench and have a line.
So with your first tattoo down, are you now anticipating another one?
Probably. Let's go back. Get on one.
Quick! Back to the tattoo parlour. More bees. Cover me in bees. Covered in bees!
We got the joke in the end, we got that.
Now seems about as good a time as any to close out this video, seeing as we're stuck in traffic because of that fucking marathon, we presume. There's no other reason we can think of that I can't get out of the car park. Yeah, so today we did something for a good cause. I'm not sure what time this video is going to go out. Maybe you've still got time, it's running just this Sunday. If not, there's going to be donations you can make anyway. There's a Just Giving page. I'm sure that'll be open for some time. I'll try and work out where that is and drop it in the links.
One and only tattoo.
So
you might get the itch again.
Terrible thing happened.
I mean, I
but it
did.
brought a lot of people together, and we're trying to help.
I grew up in tattoo studios, though.
The silly ways.
Like, I was in tattoo studios from like the age of 3.
And you know, Bill and Ted it out. Be excellent to each other.
Yes.
And that's about it for today. We'll see you.
Leave us in this car park.
Leave us in this car park. By the time you're watching this, we're still in the car park. I've edited this on the fly on my mobile phone. Fucking hell. We'll see you in a bit, kids. Well, don't make them think we're leaving.
Don't worry.
Oh, we are fucking leaving. Oh Jesus! Look, it's happening. It's stopped. It's stopped. It's stopped.
Everything smells like burning now.
Somebody's clutch is wrecked.
It's hers.
It's hers.
She's bouncing on it.
Dickhead.
Instead of using a brake. Oh, it smells rank. It smells like somebody's shit in a frying pan.
So there you go. That was the tattoos and the bees endeavour. Meanwhile, Sam's out of the cinema, by the way, so she'll be home soon, which means the end of the stream is imminent. Motherfucking bees. Okay. Oh, just a psychic thing. You there, you old witch.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. Your butler just announced me.
No, that's suddenly gotten
Of
hiccups.
course. Forgive me. I was just, well, never mind. Please make yourself comfortable,
Immediately
Mr.
control
Fordham.
them.
Thank you, Mrs. McDonough.
Speaky boy?
I appreciate you seeing me, Mrs.
I don't know what I'm
McDonough.
doing here.
I know you must be going through a difficult time right now.
What exactly is it you want
All
from
right,
me,
okay.
Mr. Fordham? I already spoke to the police about my husband's murder.
I just have a few questions of my own.
Oh, very well.
What can you tell me about your husband?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the police, Mr. Fordham. Percival was one of the hardest working members of Parliament. He took his job extremely seriously. The recent election caused him a terrible amount of consternation, as I'm sure it did most people. He took Atwood's loss rather
Don't
hard.
add that to
Did
the
you see
list
much
of
of
things to
I
fuck
beg
with
your
me.
pardon?
Please.
Surely someone with such an important position
Because
in
at least
government could find
everything
themselves
other
consumed
than
by their work.
bees.
Did he spend
I
much
can
time at home?
understand. I
He
understand
made
the
it a point to
kettle.
come home
I
and have
understand
dinner
what's
with
crusty
me
up
every
to. I
night,
understand banana
even if he
peppers.
had to
I
return to
still
the
don't
office
know why you
afterwards.
brought bees
And
up.
did that happen often?
At least 3 or 4 times in a week, yes. He'd stay in his office working late into the night. As I said, he was very dedicated to his role.
Sounds to me like she's quite dedicated to hers, too.
Did your husband have any
He was a politician, Mr. Fordham. Half the city hated him.
Did he ever receive any kind of threats against his life?
None that I was ever made aware of. I have no idea who could have killed him, let alone who could have gotten into his office to do it. He hadn't told me about any meetings or appointments this week either.
Was it his custom to inform you of his work affairs?
Oh, well, I've always taken an interest in my husband's work. He'd often mention initiatives he was working on or people he was meeting, that sort of thing. Nothing sensitive or confidential, you understand. Just conversation about his day.
No. Bees came up before that. I showed you the bee tap because you were talking about bees. Don't try and turn this shit on me, motherfucker.
Can you think of any reason why your husband would have been murdered?
Not really. He was a vocal opponent of the construction of the Gascogne-Chumley Bridge, but I hardly think that would have been sufficient reason to drive someone to murder.
Why is that?
Well, it's just a bridge, isn't it? There are plenty of other ways to get to Chumley.
I meant, why was he opposed to it?
See, it's interesting. You've got your own
because the
little...
amount of money required to build it is
it triggers. I won't say
Public funds
catchphrases.
should
I'll
be
say
used
triggers
on roads
for me.
and buildings that are falling
Whereas
apart.
we've got our
What's the
own...
point
There's
of having
one very
something
big one that
shiny
you
new if
never bring
everything
up, and
around
that
it
is
in
that we don't
disrepair?
time travel. No one ever brings that up. But we always do. We're not time travelers.
How are you feeling, Mrs. McDonough?
My husband of 42 years was shot in his office. How do you think I feel?
Tactful as always, Fordham. How do you do it?
My apologies. Perhaps that wasn't the most appropriate question. Is there anything I can do to help?
You can start by finding the monster who murdered Percival.
Are you
Working
familiar
on
with
it,
the art
I
of
guess.
cryptography, Mrs. McDonough?
What an odd question.
It's just, I noticed several books on the subject in
I
your
mean,
husband's
literally,
office.
you're here
Oh,
because of
well,
the Titanic
yes.
series, the very
Percival
first
was
series,
interested in
where we
cryptography
said,
and secret
or Krusty
messages and the
specifically
like.
said,
He
not
would
that this
sometimes
game
leave me
encompasses
coded notes
time
when we
travel or
first began
anything,
Recording many years ago.
and that became the start of a catchphrase
Oh, now
for us.
Mr. Fordham
Up until
was the
this very
prophet.
day,
But
we're not
Percival
time
got a
travelers.
thrill out of knowing I was the only one who could read them. Sometimes he would write them using a special ink that would
At
only
one point, there
appear
was a
when the
very
paper was
exciting
heated.
T-shirt being
I
made,
can't
but then,
remember the
Kev
last
got
time he
distracted,
did that, though.
so he didn't finish the drawing. There's going to be a dope-ass thing of me and Krusty running away from various forms of time travel from media, like the DeLorean and, I guess, the Doctor Who box, and, you know, other things that are well known for time travel.
Do you know anyone named Shackley?
No, I've never heard that name before. Why?
I saw your husband had a meeting scheduled with him shortly before his murder.
That can't be right. He didn't tell me about that. He always told me about his meetings.
It was written on his office calendar, clear as day.
As I said, I don't know who that person is. Why wouldn't Percival have told me about their meeting?
Why indeed?
I was literally going to say exactly that.
Are you familiar with someone named Ruby?
Yeah, that phone
I
box
can't
was going to
say
be
I
in
am.
there.
Who is it?
Just a name that's come up in my investigation.
Sounds like the name of a trollop. Or perhaps a dog.
Fucking love Bill and Ted. So excited for Bill and Ted 3. So excited. It's going to be so fucking shit. And I don't care. I will love it regardless.
Have you heard of the Justice Killer?
That was the name the police mentioned when they told me about Percival's murder. It's absolutely
No
terrifying
bees on
to
Pornhub.
think that one sick person
You know what? I
capable
bet
of
if you
such-
look hard enough,
such
there is
evil. Why is he
bee-related
called
porn.
the
And I'm willing to
Justice
bet
Killer?
it's some
What justice was done
moron
by murdering my husband?
with his dick.
I'm afraid I can't answer
Right,
that right
okay,
now.
let's envision this.
I intend to find
There's
out.
going to be some
Those are all the
containing
questions I
device
have
for the
now,
bees.
Mrs. McDonough.
And he's going to have it
All right,
over his
Mr.
junk.
Fordham.
And he's going to be getting his dick stung by bees. I would put fucking money on that being a thing.
If this actually works, I'll eat my hat.
It works. Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself that I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never let this monster out again.
Well, I'll be damned.
Can we talk some more, Mrs. McDonough?
I suppose so, yes.
I am not spending money on a bee costume. You guys don't pay me enough.
Do you know anything about this letter?
I'm afraid I don't have my spectacles. What is it?
The coroner found it in your husband's pocket. He gave it to me because he thought it was blank. But after you told me about your husband's propensity for writing secret messages, I decided to try exposing the
I should
paper
be
to
what?
heat.
paid enough
Allow
by
me
you
to read
guys?
to you.
I know I
First,
should
Mary,
be, but I'm
Words
not.
cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is my deepest hope
There's that
that you
smell of
can
weed
forgive
again.
me and trust that I will never allow this monster out again.
I see. May I have that letter, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I have to keep it for now. It's evidence.
I suppose that, that does make sense.
Someone walking down the stairs there, I think, and that is probably the reason I can smell what I can smell.
Mrs. McDonough, did Percival mistreat or abuse you?
He wasn't a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I wouldn't have married him if he was. It's
I just don't understand. Well, I don't
stress
understand the
of his
bees. I don't
responsibilities
understand the
would
bees.
Sometimes oppress him. I would try and offer comfort, soothe his nerves, but
Oh, you should be.
there
That's
are
a
a few
joke to the bees,
instances
but I still
where
don't know where it came
he
from.
lost control
I
of his
don't
passions.
understand.
Did he ever hit you?
He did.
How many times did this happen?
Cully likes honey in his tea.
I don't know. Maybe 2 or 3. You don't exactly count these things.
I'm not listening
What
to
a
any of
mess.
this. We've
Maybe
entered
it
that
serves him
terrible
right for
place where I
getting
don't
shot.
understand.
Thank you for your candor, Mrs. McDonough.
Can we please talk about something else?
Those are all the
I got
questions I have for
something,
now,
so
Mrs.
that's good.
McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
I've done nothing! Yeah, we did that. Oh, right, yeah. Clues? No, because documents and clues are apparently the same. Oh! Percy would occasionally fly into a rage and beat 2 or 3 times. Well, that's not a good man. Terrible man. Making a in the bin shirt. No one was ever making an in the bin t-shirt. No one was ever going to do that. I mean, if it was going to happen, it was going to be me, and it would literally just be text saying, in the bin, or get in the bin. Which is the best way for it. With like our standard UK litter boy thing. So yeah, I'll probably still make that shirt. I'll make it. I'll make it! Motherfucker. Alright, I'll do that. Okay. I'm cheating now, by the way. I actually am. I'm not going to use Tessa's drawing. As wonderful as it was, I'm not going to use that. Stepsister bees? You make it... What the fuck? That's even more confusing. Lad.
Fordham, how goes the investigation?
I'm making some headway.
Is that right? I certainly hope so for your sake.
Really? Because I noticed that you're not doing anything, you fucking piece of shit. What's this? What's this, specifically, on top of the desk?
The rumor was always that the chief kept a bottle of something in a secret compartment in this cabinet. In Snelling's case, it's probably just water. Ah, Chief Jacobs. Now there was a leader.
I can tell he had some hair happening.
Every book and file in there is organized to perfection. I'll bet Snelling gets flustered if anything is even a millimeter out of place. You should bump into the
Do
side.
you
when he's
guys
not
like
looking.
get off on making me baffled?
Every book and file in there is organized to perfection. I'll bet Snelling gets flustered if anything is even a millimeter out of place. You should bump into the side when he's not looking.
Why the fuck
Chief
am I
Snelling?
here?
Yes, Fordham?
What information do you have on the Justice Killer?
Clearly not as much as you.
Okay, I think I've gotten away with
See how
this.
this is gonna go.
Well, what do you have?
A list of
I
5
think
victims, some
this is
information
reliant on
on
me
each
getting
of them,
something
and no
right in
clear
case
idea
2.
what connects
And
them.
we got everything
Until
right
your
from case 2
discovery of the
onwards,
lily
I
at
think.
each scene, that
Case
was
1 I
where we
fucked up.
stood. While I doubt this discovery will do
There are no
much to
winter
aid
bees.
in tracking him down, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
What the f...
Do you know anything about Percival
You know what, I'm
McDonough?
going to leave you guys
He's a
and let
member
you
of
do
Parliament,
I believe his constituency is somewhere in central Kingsland. From the reports I've gotten, McDonough led a rather unassuming life for a politician. He is, however, the first victim who didn't live in Chumley. Either there's a link we've missed, or the killer is changing his method. Then again, since you seem so confident in your abilities to resolve this matter, I assume you'll provide an explanation.
Count on it. What do you know about the Justice Killer's previous victims?
Only what's in their files. All working men from Chumley. That's the only link.
You didn't look further into their personal lives? Maybe they had some social connection.
As I said, the detectives found nothing. You seem to think you can do better, so I'll leave it up to you.
You have to wonder how much more thorough the department's investigations would have been if the 4 men were all rich like McDonough.
So I see the department is still running like a well-oiled machine.
It is, in fact. But I'm sure Upton has kept you well informed of our activities. Incidentally, the woman accused in the Harris kidnapping is set to testify in court today.
Linda Walker's trial is today? That was fast.
Indeed. Sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly. Sometimes they spin out of control. She'll be taking the stand within the hour. If you care to hear her for yourself, best get going soon.
Ah, good. Good. Okay, so solving that one right gave us this.
Listen, about Leger's death.
I don't want to hear it, Fordham. What happened, happened. Nothing you can say is going to change my opinion on the matter.
And if I manage to find the man responsible?
The man responsible is standing before me. Even if you manage to find the culprit you let escape, it isn't going to bring
You
Leger
know what?
back from the dead.
For someone that's doing his
We'll
best
bring closure
Gomez Adams
If
fucking
that
cosplay,
is what allows
you
you to
could
sleep at night,
do
then
to act
so
a little bit more fucking
makes him get to
courteous
sleep at
like
night?
that, man. You piece of shit.
Enjoying your new position, Snelling?
Reaping the rewards for years of hard work and dedicated service. A gratifying feeling you'll never be able to experience.
Oh, I get my gratification in other ways.
I'm sure you do. And I'd honestly rather not
Dumb
know
it down. How dare you?
I need to get back to my investigation.
You can't dumb it down because it was never explained in the first place, so no level will make me understand. What did she draw? She drew... Right, you know, if you go on our channel, there's the channel art, there's Bears, me and Krusty. There's Krusty just in jeans, just like... And there's me in white football shirt, like... Ah! She drew me football shirt version, putting something in the bin. Yeah. Okay, cut.
Remind me, Miles, why are we here again? Is this for your own personal satisfaction, or did you expect her to have some useful information?
Shh. Mrs. Linda Walker, you stand accused of kidnapping Charles Harris. What have you to say in your defense?
I had to see if I could speak with my son Alexander again.
Yes. According to your initial statement, you
Method
seem to
did
believe
these.
that the Harris
Jesus
child
Christ.
is the reincarnation of your own deceased son.
All the evidence was there. I thought it had to be him.
And in regards to the execution of your plan, you secretly administered a soporific drug to your friend and the Harris family nanny, Mrs. Henrietta Davis? Is that correct?
Yes. I felt terrible about doing it, but there was no other way.
According to your journal,
Yes,
you
thank you
used
for
a
the
mixture
DM.
of chamomile and valerian.
Yes.
No, I can't. I
Samuel
can't
is a
pause.
friend of
We'll
mine
have to
who
wait.
works at the docks, and he knows all about plants. I asked him what the best combination of herbs would be to put someone in deep sleep.
So it was
H
your
is not
idea,
silent.
and not his.
Herbs.
Yes, that's right. He only told me about the plants. He's quite the expert. Why, you should see his collection of Easter lilies.
Did she just say what I think she said?
Now then, let's turn our attention to the night in question.
Interesting.
Relevant.
This Samuel person might be worth looking into. Although we can't waste time searching the docks with just a first name. I'd make a note of it, just in case it becomes relevant later. Alright, I've had enough of this courtroom. Let's get back out there. Time's running out.
Okay. Paul. This. Remarkable. I mean, truly, truly remarkable. That's fan art, that is. See, I did. I was there before you, motherfucker. Though lag may say different. Who knows? Okay.
This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful. Well, that doesn't look good.
No, it looks fucked.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? And maybe you can help me out.
I'll do what I can, but
Put it
I'll
on
need
Twitter.
to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims.
I'll
Go
put it
ahead,
on Twitter.
but make it snappy.
For the record, the game is not progressing right now because I have to do something on Twitter. Tweet. Hilarious. Meanwhile, Mache Decor is doing God's work. 3 hours ago on Twitter. Jesus. Right, game.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? Former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about Hannibal Kirkland?
It's like I've told you. I've got to deal with this mess. I don't...
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound. Checked and serviced regularly. This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
Are you guys alright? Are you having seizures?
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
I mean... I'd have to completely redraw it to make it work for a t-shirt. You do understand that.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator.
Bad enough
right?
trying to
So find out who did this to
work
my
3
machine.
jobs
If you do,
while
I'll help you out with
making
whatever else you
3
wanted to ask me
series
about.
happen on YouTube
Looks like we haven't got much of a
simultaneously
choice.
and do
Seems
fucking live
pretty
streams.
upset about his machine.
It's, you know, it's
I'll
a
see
tricky,
what I
it's a
can
tricky
do.
life I leave. What the fuck does that mean? How are they going for fur?
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
Is that right? Never heard of him.
He may have killed one of your men. Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that was all about? I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
It's nice to see the lines of communication here are wide open.
How long have you been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
Sounds reasonable.
Are you sure you can't tell me?
It's like I've told you.
Right.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out. Hey, that area is for workers only.
My apologies.
We're getting very close to my limit right now. Not acknowledging it. Not acknowledging it.
You there! What are you doing?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find out about...
No time for that now! Get in here and shield your eyes!
I beg your pardon?
Just do it!
What's going on exactly?
Shh! Everything ready, Alex? 3, 2, 1, go! Amazing! It works! It works!
What works?
Etheric lamps! Our experiment was a success!
What exactly have we wandered into here, Miles?
Electricity, I think. God, what now? Oh, fuck knows.
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course! What would you like to know?
How to end this eternal turmoil.
You worked with a man named Burley Cause, is that right?
Yes, I heard he was killed. Such a senseless tragedy. It's a shame he missed out on our demonstration. He was really interested in etheric technology.
Wasn't he concerned about losing his job to these technological advances?
He had no reason to. It's been made clear to all the workers that there will always be a place for us, even if our jobs are made obsolete.
That's interesting.
Unlike some other places, we take care of our own here at the Lamplight Depot.
How noble. But I'm pretty sure he's full of more hot air than the HMS Lenore.
Is there anything you know about Mr. Cause's personal life that might be relevant?
I know he was married, but I don't believe he had any children. Oh, and he used to talk about his love for fishing.
Fucking don't.
Give me his home address. Perhaps his wife will be willing to speak with me.
Yes, certainly. He lived at 820 Orchard Avenue, apartment 2A.
Thank you for the information.
Useful.
Do you know any details about Mr. Cause's murder?
Unfortunately, I don't. The police were here asking questions, but they didn't give me many details.
Do you know of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Not at all. Burley was very friendly, always treated everyone around here with respect. You know, it's sad to think that for all our leaps forward, we're still really just a bunch of savages.
Next.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I've read about it in the newspaper. A horrible business. It makes me wish we could install more street lamps to keep this city safer at night. Someday, I hope to realize that dream.
that's good.
Then we'll really deserve to be called Lamplight City.
You think brighter streets will stop serial murderers?
It's well known that crime rates are lower in Lyon and Worcester, and they have many more street lamps per square mile.
I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of wealth in those areas. Has to be all about the lighting.
You mentioned something about etheric lamps?
Yes! Weren't you paying attention to our demonstration? You have just witnessed history!
What I witnessed was a blinding flash of light.
Exactly! That flash was the result of years of painstaking research and experimentation. It means that not only does ethericity exist, but it can be used as a source of illumination. If these experiments continue to be successful, as I suspect they will, we'll have etheric street lamps before the end of the decade. Imagine lamps that burn twice as bright, 4 times as long. Oh, this will change everything.
Electricity,
and if it's
the
like
whole,
anything else
the whole
we've seen, it'll put a lot of people out of work,
electricity
too.
the whole time.
With all these promises of technological advancement, have the Redites given you any trouble?
Oh, those tech-fearing dolts. Yes, I'm sorry to say that we've gotten threats from them. They have yet to carry any out, which is unsurprising.
How so?
Groups like that are all bluster and no backbone.
I've seen some evidence to the contrary.
Is that right? Well, we've seen little beyond threatening letters, and I intend to make sure it stays that way.
You have any of these letters I might have a look at?
Yes, I have one. I'll give it to you before you leave.
Can I have it right now?
What is it you do here exactly?
Oh, several things. This is the main hub of the city's Department of Illumination. It's really just a grandiose way of saying that this is where all affairs related to street lamps and public lighting are taken care of. But, in addition to sending out lamplighters or mechanics to repair damaged lamps, we also do research into new methods of illumination. That's what my personal specialization is. I help develop and test more efficient ways of lighting our streets. I guess you could consider me a modern-day Prometheus.
Prometheus, a very dividing movie.
More like an everyday
experience.
pretentious.
Thank you. Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Happy to help.
Very much
Here's
looking
that
forward to
letter you
seeing
were
where the
asking
next
about.
Alien movie goes. After, was it Covenant or whatever it was? I don't know. Right. To the engineers of chaos and destruction, you're working in direct opposition of the natural order of things. These so-called improvements will be the downfall of our society. If you do not cease your unholy experiments, the Redites, sorry, that's what they said, will be forced to take action. You have been warned. Poof.
Now that's interesting. Whoever wrote this letter signed it with initials. They can't have been so stupid as to make themselves so easily identifiable, can they?
That is the most bizarre image I think I've ever been sent. Thank you. Good. Okay. Right. I'm doing one more thing. I'm doing one more fucking piece of this, and then I'm fucking out. I've got 2 shifts tomorrow. It's damn near a fucking 12-hour day, in the sense that it is a 11-hour day. So close enough. Because Sam's working tomorrow, I think. I assume Sam's working tomorrow. She usually is. That means we'll be back. Oh my god, Tupac. Oh, we'll be back to wrap this up tomorrow night anyway, so. Right. No, Sam's home. Sam's home. Game over. Catboy. Save and desist, if you will. It's been a wonderful eve. I get to go to sleep now. Good night, y'all.